Well, the Warriors can't even tank right. They go into Houston and pull off the upset, or they're about to. I decided to go live with just seconds remaining because why not? This game's over. Your Golden State Warriors victorious in Houston in a night where I don't know if we should credit the Warriors. I don't know if we should point a finger at the Rockets for just being a grossly underachieving team. Case and losing a little respect. I'm not going to lie for Ime Udoka, Rockets head coach. I usually praise the guy, but Jabari Smith Jr. ain't him. they're like you need to give up on that lame ass experiment. The dude sucks. Played 43 minutes tonight, 43, and has 0 field goals to show for it. Well, we're not here to talk about the Rockets. We're here to talk about the Golden State Warriors. Again, in a season where they're at a point where tanking should be the modus operatus, but instead, you got tryhards like Brandin Podziemski. You've got obtuse head coaches like Steve Kerr. And so they win in Houston. The Houston Rockets should be ashamed of themselves. If you're a Rockets fan, and I know there aren't a lot of you out there because they are quite possibly the most pathetic fan base in all of hoops, in all of the NBA. There is 0 passion with that fan base. That team could be 10-72 on a year, and you'll get the same type of emotional response from that group as if they went 72-10. But the Warriors did what they're supposed to do if you're not trying to tank, and that's win. But they are trying to tank. So are we celebrating this? Are we frustrated? All the above? Let's talk about it. Steve Kerr also continuing to say some outlandish things in interview settings. We're going to talk about that. At least the folks over at 95.7 The Game, now they're asking hard questions. Better late than never. Let's talk about it. I think we're live. Are we live? Yeah, we're live. We're going strong here. Happy Thursday. It's almost Friday. Bravo. You made it through another week. Let's talk about the Warriors. They're victorious tonight. A final score, 115-113 in overtime at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. And yeah. Let's have some fun. Where's my show open? I'm stalling right now. There's my open. We're powered by FanDuel. And the program, it's called the Golden Days. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Final score in Houston again, 115-113. The Golden State Warriors improving to 32-30. The Rockets dropping to 38-23. I'm going to let... No, I'm not going to... No. I'll make the call myself. DeAnthony Melton, your FanDuel player of the game, and he deserves it because in that overtime period, he made some huge plays down the stretch. And truth be told, again, I don't have it to give a player of the game award to someone who plays a guard position, calls himself a point guard, and yet again cannot come up with more than 1 assist. Can't do it. I just don't have it in me. We did see some LJ Crier minutes tonight. We're going to talk about him in a little bit in terms of silver linings here. But our FanDuel player of the game, DeAnthony Melton, we're seeing the minute restriction slowly being lifted here. He was causing headaches for the Rockets tonight. And again, hits the game winner to seal this one over the Houston Rockets. DeAnthony Melton, 23 points tonight on 2 of 6 shooting from deep. That's 33%. It's good enough. 10 of 22 shooting from the field, almost 50%. You like that. 6 boards, had 3 steals in this one, 2 blocks in this one. His effort on defense playing a huge part in this. Didn't do much better in the assist category with just 2, but he did it everywhere else. And so DeAnthony Melton, who where his minutes getting lifted a little bit more here the restrictions starting to ease. Melton finishing the game in 29 minutes, 57 seconds, again, with 23 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. That's a strong stat line. The runner-up would have been Brandin Podziemski, the child of opportunistic privilege, Steve Kerr's favorite non-biological son. Look, again, 39 minutes, 34 seconds. That's how long Brandin Podziemski played. Incredibly, he did not lead the team in minutes tonight. That honor went to Guy Santos, who had 41 minutes, 37 seconds of play. But Podziemski, 39 minutes, 34 seconds. And all he could do is 1 goddamn assist. That just doesn't cease bothering me. He did lead the team in scoring tonight, 26 points, was very efficient shooting-wise, 10 of 18 from the field, 4 of 8 from deep. Again, a very good shooting night for Brandin Podziemski. Added 9 boards, but 1 assist. That sickens me. I don't like that. I just don't like that. It's not winning basketball when you're a point guard on your team. You cannot facilitate. You cannot, on a statistical, measurable basis, make your teammates better. With all that said, it was all in all a good game for him tonight. For again, Steve Kerr's favorite son. We're going to play an interview clip in just a moment of Steve Kerr on his weekly 95.7 The Game radio show, where he was actually asked some difficult questions. So one of those rare moments where a radio station filled with Steve Kerr buddies, homers, ass kissers, actually asked the questions we gave a shit about. And 2 of them more specifically. We're going to play his answers in just a moment. And his answers went about how you'd expect in terms of just, again, I use the word obtuse to describe this head coach. And when you hear these answers, maybe you'll understand why I say that if you don't already. But the 2 questions that were asked of Steve Kerr, one being, how do you respond to the critics who say you've never developed a player? I want to hear that answer. You will in just a moment if you haven't already. And the other one, why does Podziemski lead this team in minutes? We'll play his responses in just a minute as we go through the recap here real quick. Other highlights of this game, besides Melton and Podziemski, Guy Santos, I mentioned a moment ago, 6 of 12 from the field. You like that. The 0 of 4 shooting from deep. You don't like that. The 7 turnovers. You definitely don't like that. This was a Guy Santos. The Guy Santos stat line on the box score is riddled with contradiction. Besides the fact that inside the 3-point line, he was exemplary, 6 of 8 from the field. Beyond the 3-point line, 0 of 4, 7 turnovers. You're going, what the hell? But then a plus 20 in net rating. Dude was playing winning basketball out there tonight, by far leading the team in that stat. 14 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 7 turnovers, 0 of 4 from beyond the arc, a plus 20 in net rating. A puzzling night from Guy Santos, but that's how it goes sometimes. And then Draymond Green, who has been a focus of attention for a lot of individuals lately, largely because of his poor play. And look, the criticism is justified. I get it. Interesting moment in this game, about halfway through, I can't remember if it was the second or third quarter. We're in the middle of a little kerfunkle, if you will, a little drama with some foul calls. And Draymond, interestingly enough, got fouled on a play. I can't remember who committed the foul. I think it was Kevin Durant. And as they start running down the court before the whistle gets blown, this was a very quick possession. He grabs Jabari Smith Jr.'s foot, causing him to nearly trip, and then gets up and laughs about it. And I think he was teed up for that. Ended up being very inconsequential. Nonetheless, dude, I'm having just awful hair days lately, man. Like, Jesus. Some days I'm just looking like I'm going bald and my side of my hair is puffing up. And look, I'm not bragging about my hair, but I'm not as bald as I look sometimes, or maybe I am. Maybe just Father Time's finally getting to me. Anyways, but Jabari Smith is garbage on that note. But Draymond Green, a decent night tonight. It was not a triple single because he had 10 points. Also a second on the team in net rating with a plus 12. Draymond's stat line tonight, 10 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 4 of 6 from the field, efficient shooting. Only put up 3 3-point attempts, made 1 of them. That's 33%. It works. Had 1 free throw attempt on a +1 and made it. Bravo to Dre. And maybe most importantly, was a force defensively, causing havoc out there on the Houston Rockets bigs. The Rockets deserve some discussion. And I know this is a Warriors show, but I'm going to spend just a couple minutes on them because there are some things on that side of the coin which is fascinating, and most of that is not positive. But Alperen Sengun, just 7 rebounds in this game tonight, going along with 17 points. And he was flustered. And part of the fluster came from Draymond Green, and who was playing, again, exemplary defense, was causing havoc down low. And Steve Kerr did the smart thing for a change, pairing Draymond with another big. He almost always had a second big out there tonight, whether it was Al Horford, who, side note, dropped some huge bombs from the 3-point line, which he's a mysterious one because some nights he looks like his old ass self. Other times you see games like this tonight where he's just going all out. He's looking like a 29-year-old, not a 39-year-old. And so Dre was doing a magnificent job, not just hampering Alperen Sengun, but he was also defending Kevin Durant a lot of this game. And Durant was frustrated. Durant, a side note, went into the overtime period, or was it the end of the game? I can't remember. There's the end of the game and the end of overtime were both very close. So forgive me for muddling those moments for a second there. Where Kevin Durant missed two of his final 3 free throw attempts. And he came into the missed one having made 36 straight. And boy, were those huge missed free throws. The first one would have tied the game. Instead, they found themselves down 1 with seconds remaining. And then after the second one, he needed to intentionally miss the free throw because by making it, I believe they would have been down 1 with just seconds remaining or something like that. Forgive me for not remembering how the math worked. All I remember specifically is Kevin Durant had to miss the second free throw because there was only seconds remaining. The Rockets needed more than 1 point. And so what does he do? He banks the free throw in after bricking 2 straight. So that was the kind of night Kevin Durant had. Also just was not blowing socks off offensively. He played 41 minutes, 21 seconds in this game. Efficient, yes. 8 of 16 from the field, 3 of 5 from deep. Take away those 2 missed free throws at the end. He started the game perfect 4 of 4 from the free throw line before missing those 2 of his final 3. I apologize. I keep forgetting he made that last one. 23 points, 6 boards, 3 assists. In 41 minutes, 21 seconds. Damn. But Draymond, this all goes back to Draymond Green because his defense on Sengun, his defense on Durant was, again, elite yet again. So Draymond, at least for one night, shutting the critics up, not having a triple single because, again, he scored those 10 points, adding 8 assists in this game as a facilitator, grabbing 5 boards in this game, second on the team in net rating with a plus 12 after Guy Santos's plus 20. To put that in perspective for you, next highest on the team was De'Anthony Melton with a plus 8. So net rating was not necessarily a good storyteller tonight in terms of which lineups were effective out there, which were not. But Draymond Green, again, for one night, shutting up the haters, having a solid outing, looked like he was even having fun out there. And he played a part in all this. Al Horford, I mentioned a moment ago, 17 points in this one, including some huge late 3-point bombs. Finished the game 3 of 6 from deep. That is 50%, folks. adding 6 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks in 32 minutes, 43 seconds of play. Why not? You're 39 years old, but your team's going nowhere. Get out there and let's run you to the ground. And for this night, he held his own. So that was your starting 5 and how they performed for the evening. Now, when we shift to the bench, Quinton Post statistically did not have a good night, but he was feisty out there. And on quite a few possessions, held his own against the Rockets bigs, primarily Şengün. Some possessions, it was Jabari Smith Jr., who, side note, sucks. I have zero understanding why he's a cornerstone piece for your Houston Rockets, because he just is not a very good basketball player. I get fully now why Kevin Durant threw his ass under the bus in those leaked texts, because something's missing there. Again, here's Jabari Smith's box score. Okay, he did one thing good tonight, and that was grabbing rebounds. He had 11 of them. Outside of the 11 rebounds, in 42 minutes and 16 seconds of play, did not make a single field goal. 0 of 8 from the field, 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. He couldn't score a single bucket against the Golden State Warriors. That's embarrassing. Jabari Smith. Is Dorian Finney-Smith still injured? I don't know what's going on with the Rockets. So the Rockets are not a contender. That much I can promise you. The Rockets look worse this year than last year. I don't know how that's possible, but that's how they seem to me. And they finished this game. Reed Sheppard and Kevin Durant were awesome from beyond the arc. Reed Sheppard, side note, was arguably the best player of the game for the Rockets. Did not start, but played 37 minutes, 9 seconds, was 12 of 19 from the field, was 6 of 12 from deep, 30 points, 6 assists in this game, added 3 rebounds for Reed Sheppard. Kevin Durant was 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. So, and those two almost single-handedly, Josh Okogie, I apologize, former Suns forward, also hitting 3 of 4 from deep. If it surprises you to learn that the Rockets actually shot better from beyond the arc than the Golden State Warriors, I don't blame you, because if you were forced to guess which one of these two teams shot better tonight in terms of 3-point shooting, just from the eye test, not looking at a box score, at least my thought was, damn, like the Rockets were not, but I'm sorry, I thought the Warriors were, I'm having a hard time trying to explain this. Let me just give you the 3-point numbers. Warriors, 14 of 38 from beyond the arc. They hit 36.8% of their threes. The Rockets, incredibly, it didn't feel like this. And at the end of the first half, and maybe this is why I was so surprised. At the end of the first half, the Warriors were 6 of 20 from beyond the arc. The Rockets were just 5 of 17, which is very comparable. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'll just give you the stats. Shooting by both teams was good, not great. The Rockets were 14 of 34 from beyond the arc. The Warriors, taking by their standards a pedestrian 38 3-point attempts, and that includes the overtime period, hitting 14 of them, hitting just 36.8% of their buckets, and still coming away with the win. LJ Crier. But I was quickly wanted to say Quinton Post, wrapping this bow up, this ugly bow up. If you did not understand what I said the last 2 minutes, that's on me. That's not on you. Forgive me. Quinton Post played 20 minutes and 3 seconds. Did grab 6 boards. The Warriors almost won the rebounding battle tonight. Again, if you're the Rockets, that's embarrassing. And Jabari Smith, no field goals made in 42 minutes and 16 seconds of play. How do you justify that? Just an ugly night for the Rockets. I like Amen Thompson. I like him a lot. I like Reed Sheppard. Alperen Şengün is no Nikola Jokic, even though you can clearly see it's as transparent as day that's what the Rockets envision Şengün being, that like the next Nikola Jokic. He is not the next Nikola Jokic. He's a damn good player, but he's not that good. And I'm looking at this Rockets team, and I really just have two players that excite me. It's Amen Thompson and Reed Shepherd. I expected a lot more from them, and I expected them to help a tanking Warriors team and not lay an egg like this. Losing to the Warriors at home, a game where that arena, Toyota Center, looked empty. I was messaging some folks I know in the Houston media scene going, what is going on? And they reminded me, they're like, well, A, it's Houston. You know how these crowds are. He goes, and B, the game tipped off here at 6:30, middle of rush hour. Houston does have traffic, but that's a shitty situation is what I'm trying to say, because there's only two players on that team that, move the needle from my perspective. The Golden State Warriors had a few players tonight that played who, one of those, LJ Crier, I don't know if the fact that he's a former Houston Cougar played a part in him getting a substantial run tonight. I don't know if Moses Moody's shoulder injury, he missed tonight's game, played a part in LJ Crier getting a run, but did he get a run, and damn, did he look exactly like the player we have been hyping on this program, the player that we've been wanting to show up for the Golden State Warriors for some time. He got his run tonight. This was the first game of the season where LJ Crier got serious minutes, and he showed, at least to me, he belongs. He made some minor mistakes here and there, a chief among them just dumb fouls, and he picked up 5 fouls in his 20 minutes and 15 seconds, but that's what young players do. And you need reps and you need time to, gain experience and slowly learn that some of these dumb fouls you're committing, you don't have to commit. There are ways to avoid that. So you take away the 5 personal fouls for LJ Crier, who was playing in overtime, getting some real minutes in this one. 4 of 9 from the field. All 4 made field goals were 3-pointers. He was 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. LJ Crier shooting 50% from 3. Finished the game with 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. I want to see that number go up, but this is your first game ever. I can forgive him. And LJ looking good. Let's see more. Nate Williams, who has been one of those dudes that has excited certain people, myself included, because he looks the part of an NBA player, but Kerr did not give him substantial minutes. 17 minutes, 57 seconds, just 2 points for him, was 1 of 4 from the field, did grab 3 rebounds, all of those offensive. And that's maybe the most startling stat from this game tonight. The Warriors won the offensive rebounding battle. Warriors had 18 offensive boards. Houston had 17 offensive rebounds. And a huge reason why the Warriors won the offensive rebounding battle, and it made me want to look up where the Warriors ranked this season in terms of offensive boards, because they're number 1 in the NBA in 3-point attempts, right? They're second in 3-pointers made. They're first in 3-pointers attempted. And it begs the question, are the Warriors a good offensive rebounding team? Because when you miss 3-pointers, what often happens is there's a long rebound. Long rebounds are not scientific, meaning long rebounds are a million times harder to practice for, prepare for, to study than a traditional missed field goal, because they ricochet all over the place. They could be long as F, and that could be advantageous to a team like the Warriors, who don't typically roll out a ton of size out there, although tonight was a bit of an exception with Al Horford getting heavy run, Draymond Green getting heavy run, Quentin Post getting heavy run. But the fact that they won the offensive rebounding battle, incredible. And on the season, the Warriors are 19th in offensive rebounds, at least per game. Rebounding as a whole, the Warriors are this year 23rd, which means they're actually better at offensive rebounding than rebounding overall. That's something. That's interesting. Hamza in the chat's asking if the Warriors actually make the playoffs. Whoops, not that. Right here. Of course, this crappy virtual studio. Reset my settings, even though I didn't ask for it. Saying if the Warriors make the playoffs versus the Thunder or the Spurs, are they cooked? Of course, yes. Don't read into this game like it means anything. All right. This is just like a lot of what goes on with the Warriors. It's just very fluky. But no, I mean, well, look, just a case in point, the Warriors are in OKC Saturday. That's their next game. You'll see for yourself. All right. OKC is not going to play like that. OKC, besides being the reigning champions, they have no holes in their game. And they give you the same type of hustle and effort. They are tryhards just like the Warriors are. That effort is what keeps the Warriors alive in so many of these games. Again, tanking would be the intelligent thing to do at this point for draft positioning because the Warriors have nothing to play for. But so this win was not necessarily the wise thing to do. Tanking for a good draft pick, that is the wise thing to do. But with that said, a huge reason why games like this happen where the tanking strategy fails, because you have a head coach who is just dense and you know has the future of his team not in his best interest. But they do give effort. They are the try-hard Warriors. That's what's keeping them alive at this point. And OKC is also a bunch of tryhards. That's what I'm trying to say. When the Warriors come up against another team that matches them in effort, you're going to see them get cooked. Let me see if the line, courtesy of FanDuel, is available yet for Saturday's Warriors Thunder game. Let me see here. I'm going to guess no. If I had to guess the line, I'd guess OKC -7. Not available currently. Let's see if there's any updates in terms of the win-loss total for the Warriors while I'm on FanDuel Sportsbook's website, and you cannot bet on that either. But nonetheless, the Warriors staying above 500. Had they lost tonight, they would have had an even 500 record. Instead, they're 32-30. And look at Hamza. Look at Hamza. Just with the naive optimism of a fan. I love it, Hamza. Saying Porzingis and Seth Curry are returning soon. Right. Yeah. Let's count on that one.
It's ignorant. You're being ignorant.
Michael Jackson, be nice to Hamza.
That's ignorant.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. You never know, Michael Jackson. You might be wrong on that. Who knows? Unpredictable. We don't play the assumption game here on Golden Days. LTI saying in the chat, the Warriors might be tough in the playoffs, in the offs. I like that. No chance in hell. The games they look good in the regular season are almost entirely because the opponents fall into the trap of sleeping on this team. Like no other team looks at the Warriors and thinks, ooh, like nobody's doing that. Usually it's, oh, the Warriors are here, so what are we doing for dinner tonight? And that's why they call it a trap game, because the guard is down, the effort is not there, the urgency, the hunger is lacking. Clearly, case in point with this Houston team tonight. That shit does not happen in the postseason. Now, could I be wrong? Of course, but I'd say the odds of me being wrong on that are 1%. Mr. Silax saying, we, quote, kinda believe. We've got some paid chats I'll get to in just a second. Actually, I'll get to them right now. We start with Steven Alexander. I don't know what W2000 means in currency. That could be 50 cents for all we know. Regardless, I'm grateful. Thank you. Saying the Warriors actually won? Was my EGT spiked? What is EGT? I'm going to Google that. I have no idea what it is, but thank you for the cultural enlightenment here. So EGT is your currency the won? Is that what that W stands for? Because I'm looking up what EGT is, and the first thing that comes up in Google is tea eggs, a popular Chinese savory snack made by simmering hard-boiled eggs in a mixture of tea leaf, soy sauce, and spices. Is that what you're talking about? Is that what EGT is? Are you in China? Oh, I looked way too into it. Earl Grey. Okay, it's Earl Grey tea. Okay. Read way too much into that, Stephen Alexander. Thank you for the donation. Yes, the Warriors actually incredibly won. And we are at the point where I'm not celebrating these all that much. Tonight was a fun one, but if you're not tanking for the future with the draft this deep, and we're going to start bringing on some experts pertaining to the college game and the European game, right? This is where if you're making your money, if you're making your living covering a draft prospects, Kristen Peak is the queen of this category. And yes, I am trying to get her. She's insanely busy. You're earning your money's worth this year. This draft has a shitload of talent. Me wanty. Gimme talent. And so the win tonight may or may not have hurt that. We'll cover the standings in a little bit. Brooklyn, no opinion, dropping $4.99. Appreciate your support. Sincerely, thank you, writing. I wonder if Steve Kerr is going to ignore Podziemski's scoring and punish him for a 1-assist game the way he would have punished Kuminga. Let's see if Kerr could be negative about Podziemski. There's only one drop that I can think of for that one. Where are you?
Oh my God, that is funny.
Speaking of Steve Kerr, he has a weekly radio show on 95.7 The Game. We're going to play these sound bites, and then I will invite the audience to come on the program. But these answers are so ridiculous. And again, these are the questions that have been burning on the minds of many. And it only took the Warriors being on the verge of a 4th straight year of an underachieving, disappointing season for the hosts of this station, like everyone else, Steve Kerr buddies, sycophants, ass kissers, zero journalistic integrity. I mean, they're not journalists, but you can still at least try to be objective, try to not have bias, try to present a neutral position. But that's not how most of the media works. Now, with that said, given so many fans are at that point of consternation, finally, some people are getting the guts to ask Kerr tough questions and to call him out. And one of those 2 questions was about Brandin Podziemski. More specifically, why the hell does this guy lead the team in minutes? I can't remember if that's how the question was phrased exactly, but I think that the better question, I think the way the question was set up by Willard and Dibbs was, a lot of fans aren't happy with Podziemski. You keep playing him. Why? Make it make sense. And again, Brandin Podziemski, the leader on this team in minutes among all active players, the only 2 players who actually have averaged more minutes over the season, Stephen Curry, who knows when he's going to come back, Jimmy Butler, 100% out for the year. Not even Draymond Green plays more than Podziemski, and yet he leads the team in minutes. And before I play this clip, just real quickly want to remind you of his statistics. How is Podziemski doing this year? Let's look it up. Brandin Podziemski on the Golden State Warriors. I already mentioned to you that he leads the team in minutes among all non-active players. Pods averaging 27.4 minutes per game. Scoring-wise, he averages 12.4 points per game. Same as DeAnthony Melton. Nate Williams, 2-way player, is averaging more already. It is kind of, this is a, I did not realize this until just now. Sorry for clearing my throat into the mic. But without Steph and without Jimmy, The Warriors' leading scorers on the season, this is why you have to tank, is Nate Williams. Even Bubba's like, this is what I'm talking about. Why are they not tanking? Cy, what you're about to say, Dad, what you're about to say is why this team has no hope. Nate Williams is your current leader in scoring for the Warriors among active players. Steph averaging 27.2 points per game, but he hasn't played in a month and a half? At least a month. Jimmy Butler was averaging 20 points per game. He's out for the year. Third on this list, Nate Williams, two-way player. He's only played 3 games. And I don't think the stats reflect tonight. So maybe Nate has dropped after his 2-point effort. But at least through the first 2 games, he was averaging 12.5 points per game. De'Anthony Melton, next up. Tied with Brandin Podziemski. I don't know why he's listed ahead of him, but he is. Something tells me if you go deep down the decimals beyond just the first place, De'Anthony Melton is slightly ahead of Podziemski. Melton, 12.4 points per game. Brandin Podziemski, also averaging 12.4 points per game. These are your leading scorers. And you think they have a shot in the postseason? Moses Moody, 11.9 points per game. Those are your only players who average double digits in scoring. Draymond Green's averaging 8.4 points per game. Big Al Horford, 8.2. Quentin Post, 7.6. Will Richard, who remains out with that ankle injury, did not play tonight, averaging 7 points per game. Guy Santos, 6.7 points per game. Pat Spencer, 6.3. GP2. Why did GP2 not play tonight? Was he hurt? Just left ankle impingement. And they technically listed Moses Moody as out with a right wrist sprain, even though it looked like the shoulder was injured that last game. And again, Will Richard dealing with the ankle. So GP2 was out because of injury tonight. He's averaging 5.9 points per game. And then Malachi Leons, who got some minutes tonight, averaging 2.6 points per game. LJ Crier, 2.0 points per game even. Point is, no pun intended, the Warriors don't have offense. But I was talking about Brandin Podziemski. Podziemski's averaging 5.1 rebounds per game. Draymond Green is your team leader, averaging 5.6 on the year. Kuminga's gone. Kuminga was leading the team in rebounding, but he's no longer there, even though he's listed on this sheet in front of me. Jimmy Butler was averaging 5.6 rebounds per game. So it's Draymond and then Podziemski. He's second on the team in rebounding. Al Horford rounding out the top 3 with 5 rebounds per game. Assists. Pods averages 3.7. Now, what's sad is that's wildly second on the team behind Draymond Green. Draymond Green leads the Warriors in assists per game with 5.2. Jimmy and Steph are second and third, not active. So next up, Pods, 3.7 assists per game. Pat Spencer, 3.5. Big Al Horford, 2.5. De'Anthony Melton, 2.4. Steals. Pods averages 1.1. De'Anthony Melton leads the Warriors in steals. 1.5 steals per game. Will Richard, second with 1.2, not including inactive players, including Steph and Jimmy, who lead almost all these categories, but they're not playing. Brandin Podziemski, again, 1.1 steals per game on the season. Blocks. Big Al Horford leads the Warriors with 1.1 blocks per game. Draymond Green, second, 0.6. Moses Moody, 0.5. Brandin Podziemski, this one he's near the bottom. Brandin Podziemski averages 0.2 blocks per game. So point is, my point is the numbers are, that's Brandin Podziemski for you. But Steve Kerr loves him. Steve Kerr plays him. And here's the soundbite from that interview earlier today. Not earlier today. I'm sorry. This was yesterday, I believe. And here is Steve Kerr on 95.7 The Game explaining why Podziemski leads the team in minutes. So here is the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr.
Well, he's got a really good feel for the game. When he's off the ball, he is one of the best defensive players we have on our team. And I know people may not see that, but it's the anticipation. It's playing on the weak side. It's weak side help. It's being disruptive. It's taking charges. He's one of our best rebounders. 2 straight 15 rebound games last week. And offensively, he's still finding his way. I mean, I talk about it all the time publicly. But getting off the ball early in a possession and then getting it back, he generates a lot of shots for us, running through the catch, generating closeouts, and then, all of a sudden we're attacking 5-on-4. He does that better than most of our guys. And for us to generate good shots, he's generally got to be out on the floor more often than not.
Ooh. I mean, that is some gaslighting. I'd say 95% of the praise that Steve Kerr gave to Brandin Podziemski there was entirely subjective. Like rhetoric ranging from he's got a feel for the game to, I think the only thing he brought up that is statistically verifiable is the rebounds. And again, this is just a personal preference thing, and my preference correlates directly with winning. I want my team to win, and I want my players on my team to be good. And when it comes to guards, one of the last stats I give 2 shits about is rebounding for a guard. And I'm really starting to wonder if a lot of these rebounds that he gets are because of all these long ass rebounds from 3-pointers, because of how many the Warriors chuck up. And even then, 5.1, okay, it's not bad. It's not, but the 3.7 assists, the 12 points. But he had a good night tonight. He did have a good night tonight. Now, this is the other clip, and while we play this, I'll post the link for the audience. I don't think there's anything else in the box score worth touching on. I praise Quentin Post, who even though statistically did not have a great night tonight, only had 3 points, and those all came on free throws, had 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and was just tenacious down there. Did not make life easy for the grossly overrated Houston Rockets bigs. Again, the Rockets are that's a shit show, man. Jabari Smith Jr. sucks. He just sucks. I still couldn't believe when all the Giannis trade talk was going around. It genuinely blew my mind, and I let my friends in Houston know this. And their response was, well, the Rockets, they don't want to gut their youth. And it's like, okay, so then what's your goal? You think that youth of yours is going to someday carry you to a dynasty? I think the Rockets organization and its fan base, by proxy, because most of them buy up the propaganda, wink, wink, the idea is that Alperen Şengün is someday going to turn into Nikola Jokic. That's the delusion there. And I still could not believe that when Giannis Antetokounmpo was allegedly on the trade market, that the Rockets didn't express interest because they didn't want to give up their prized young pieces. Are you out of your mind? I get Amen Thompson. He's badass. I get not wanting to move him. But Jabari Smith, I'm not even that big on Alperen Şengün. I mean, he's slow as F defensively, not elite offensively. He's good. He's damn good in the post, but he was 0 of 3 from deep tonight, and I don't think of him as an elite 3-point shooter. You blew it. You reap what you sow, just like what the Warriors are reaping with Steve Kerr. And then I talked about LJ Crier, who's magnificent. Malachi Leons did play 12 minutes and 3 seconds. He did not have a good game. Was 1 offensive rebound and 2 steals away from a Tony Snell game. If you don't know what a Tony Snell game is, that's in reference to the infamous former NBA player Tony Snell, who once put up a zeros across the board stat line. Malachi Leons had 1 rebound and 2 steals. That's it. In 12 minutes and 3 seconds. So he did not do much tonight. But LJ Crier did. I like me some LJ. Would like to see more of that. You can make tanking fun and exciting by playing guys that you don't know what their ceiling is. Thus, you anticipate looking forward to seeing what that project can turn into, right? If it's an egg, or it's an egg. At least you saw the experiment. And then there's one more soundbite. Here, I'll post up the link if anybody wants to come on. I never have expectations. Anybody does. I also got a couple of great emails I'm going to get to tonight. But if you want to join us, here is the link. It's in the chat. The way this goes, you just click on that link. You go into our waiting room. I almost always go chronologically in order of who gets in first. And one more soundbite, though, I want to play before we go to the audience and hear your thoughts. And I'm sure there's many. That same interview on 95.7 The Game, Steve Kerr was asked another pertinent question. This one pertaining to the fact that he's never developed a player, not one. And he was asked about that criticism and what his response is to that criticism. So let's hear from the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr, address not the fact, but the strong opinion, the strong educated opinion, reinforced with a shitload of evidence that he doesn't know how to develop players. This one to me was far more egregious than the answer he gave regarding Brandin Podziemski. Here is Steve Kerr on youngsters.
Well, it's the role of the organization, and I think we've really addressed that over the last 4 or 5 years.
Hold on one second. Let me start this over. Just because the question that was asked of him is, what is your reaction to the criticism that you haven't developed players? And do you feel it's the head coach's responsibility? Here's Steve Kerr's response.
The role of the organization, and I think we've really addressed that over the last 4 or 5 years. You know, we felt like there were some improvements we could make. And we changed some things organizationally. We brought in a couple of people who were to put them in charge of player development, and I think we've done a pretty good job with that over the last few years. And I think part of the frustration of our fans probably stems from the fact that we've got we had the 3 lottery picks coming at a time when we were winning a championship, and it's just hard to play, 19-year-olds on championship teams. And so, the development that comes is going to be different than it would come on a team that's in the lottery, where you just put a guy out there for 35 minutes and let him make his mistakes. And I think that's probably where some of the frustration comes. But you see how it can work too. You see Moses Moody, you see his development over time. You see Guy Santos. I think Brandin is really coming into his own, playing well. But it takes time. And I remember when I got to Chicago, we had a couple of drafts, and I was in my 10th year, 9th year, and I asked Phil Jackson, what he thought of the guys we drafted. He said, well, it won't matter for a few years. And I said, how come? He said, well, because grown-ups win championships. And it's true. It's true. It's really hard to come in as a young player and be expected to have the knowledge, have the wealth of knowledge and skill and feel that you have to be a championship NBA player. It's I would equate it to just about anything else on earth. Tell me the profession where, the guy with the highest test scores at Stanford can go and, be a CEO or, be a partner in a firm or something. It just life doesn't work that way. And so I think when I think about any frustration from our fans, it's probably just coming from this idea that young players should get it right away. It just doesn't work that way.
That was one of the most out of touch answers I may have ever heard a head coach provide. Ever. We're going to go through that one more time because there's a million things in there that I have to stop for a second and correct, or at a bare minimum, addend, because it's egregious in terms of how off base he is on so much of that. Clueless. Just, if you ever, I don't know how many of you wonder still, well, why I call this man obtuse. That was the apex epitome of an obtuse individual, just out of touch, delusional, stubborn-minded in terms of like thinking there has to be a way to things. No, there doesn't. Says who? You're in charge. You make the rules. It goes the way you decide it. Effing hypocrite. And when I say hypocrite, it's because he says all that and then plays Brandin Podziemski. Let's listen to that one more time because there's a lot to just basically comment on.
It'll work that way. Well, it's the role of the organization, and I think we've really addressed that over the last 4 or 5 years.
You have?
We felt like there were some improvements we could make. And we changed some things organizationally. We brought in a couple of people who were to put them in charge of player development.
I love the fact that this man makes nearly $20 million a year, and he can't go out of his own way just to communicate with players, learn more about them, find out their strengths and weaknesses, add a level of humanity to the job. Instead, Kerr operates like a CEO himself. Well, we got to hire people for that. I got to hire a developmental person because even though I'm the head coach, it's beneath me. Like, what is the reason he can't do it himself? Is it beneath you? Are you not qualified to do it? And if you're not qualified to develop players, why are you the head coach? I don't understand that at all. At all. Man makes nearly $20 million because Stephen Curry and Draymond Green love him. That's it. He has to hire people on the company's dime to develop. Why can't you do that yourself, Kerr? I'm sorry, coach. It's insane how many people still call him that too. I'm guilty of that at times as well. Insane. How about instead of hiring more people, do the job yourself? Are you not good enough to do that?
And I think we've done a pretty good job with that over the last few years. And I think part of the frustration of our fans probably stems from the fact that we've got we had the 3 lottery picks coming at a time when we were winning a championship, and
they didn't come when they were winning a championship. They won a championship after you drafted them.
Hard to play, 19-year-olds on championship teams. And so,
and this part, by the way, the hypocrisy, the two-faced response to this, saying it's hard to play 19-year-olds on a championship team. Friendly reminder, Steve Kerr himself has said repeatedly he did not expect that team in 2021, 2022 to win the title. Meaning it happened despite his plans. He didn't plan for it. So if he didn't plan for it, why do people give him credit for it? And case in point, the 19-year-old comment he just made here. Dude was starting Moses Moody in postseason games that season that they won the championship. Dude was starting Jonathan Kuminga in games where they won a championship that same season. So what is he trying to say here then? You can't play them in the defense of a championship? Is that where it's just suddenly like some faux pas to you, some unwritten rule that you can't break? But you can play Anthony Lamb, a two-way player. You can play Ty Jerome, who was practically like a rookie when he was a two-way player in the Warriors. You can play guys like Corey Joseph. What was the justification then for playing Quinn Cook? He was young as shit. But he got minutes over David West and JaVale McGee. It's just the lack of genuineness. He's such a phony with these answers because none of this is true.
And so, the development that comes is going to be different than it would come on a team that's in the lottery where you just put a guy out there for 35 minutes and let him make his mistakes. And
then explain the logic of Greg Popovich starting to give Kawhi Leonard serious minutes in year 2. I think it was actually the rookie year of Kawhi Leonard where he was averaging over 30 minutes a game. Finals MVP, in year 3? Explain that logic.
Mistakes. And I think that's probably where some of the frustration comes. But you see how it can work too. You see Moses Moody, you see his development.
Yeah, the development that just a year ago involved Lindy Waters III playing over him. The development where Kerr found any excuse to play anyone over Moses Moody until he had no one left. And then went, oh, he could actually play. I probably should have played him sooner. What a doofus. And then for whatever reason, Brandin Podziemski is good enough to be the exception to all these imaginary social constructs that he's presenting here. It is very sad to me how many people buy up the pure, unadulterated bullshit this guy sells on a near daily basis. It is sad how many people revere this snake oil salesman. I'm sorry. It's pathetic, man. And why? Because he's soft-spoken? Because he happened to have the job of head coach when the Warriors win those championships? That just makes him infallible to you? Like he can do whatever the hell he wants the rest of his life and you folks will just always never hold him accountable? Reminds me of a certain president we have right now and his supporters can do no wrong no matter what. Above reproach. This man's a god. It's pathetic.
His development over time. You see Guy Santos. I think Brandon is really coming into his own, playing well. But it takes time. And I remember when I got to Chicago, we had a couple of drafts, and I was in my 10th year, 9th year, and I asked Phil Jackson, what he thought of the guys we drafted. He said, well, it won't matter for a few years. And I said, how come? He said, well, because grown-ups win championships. And it's true. It's true. It's really hard to come in as a young player and be expected to have the knowledge, have the
same Phil Jackson, by the way, who relied on not a grown-up Kobe Bryant to win 3 more championships with the Lakers. Phil took over in 99. I believe Kobe was 21. That's a grown-up? Popovich with Kawhi Leonard, that was a grown-up? Just a phony. Like Steve Kerr is the typical corporate propagandic phony. Like he belongs in a suit and tie working for Salesforce. It's just revolting.
Have the wealth of knowledge and skill and feel that you have to be a championship NBA player. It's I would equate it to just about anything else on earth. Tell me the profession where, the guy with the highest test scores at Stanford can go and, be a CEO or, be a partner in a firm or something. It just doesn't, life doesn't.
You mean just like you mean like how startups happen all the time? I love the lecture that he gives. Life just doesn't work that way. You got to pay your dues. You got to be lucky and hopefully have someone who, after years of sacrifice, gives you that big break. Just take your lectures and shove it up your ass with these bullshit like talking points that are gross generalizations. If the CEO comp didn't make sense a moment ago in terms of Steve Kerr talking and acting like a corporate schmo, this is all the evidence you need. Back it up a second.
Life doesn't work that way, and so I think when I think about any frustration from our fans, it's probably the guy with the highest test scores at Stanford can go and be a CEO or be a partner in a firm or something. It just doesn't. Life doesn't work that way. And
I love how he applies these rules that don't exist to everything. Yeah, life doesn't typically work that way because usually if you want to be a partner at a firm, a CEO of a company, you got to gain experience, like decades of experience to make it to the top. Problem with this logic, coach, is that you don't have decades. So if we're trying to apply this relatively to basketball, like what 10, 20 years at a corporation would equate to what, like 3, 4, 5 as an NBA career? I mean, most NBA players don't even make it to 5 years. What is he doing here, man? Just zero originality in terms of his thought process. Just all he does is perpetuate and repeat, again, corporate talking points, thinking that applies to individuals on a basketball team.
Life doesn't work that way.
Bullshit.
And so I think when I think about any frustration from our fans, it's probably just coming from this idea that young players should get it right away. It just doesn't work that way.
I love how he just assumes he understands how the average fan thinks. The only fan that you relate to, Kerr, are those wine and cheese snobs sitting 1 through 10 directly behind you. And side note, here's the QR code. If you have any interest in sending a real fan to the game to sit right behind Stevie Kerr, donate to that GoFundMe. I did. And let's send, again, a real fan, not some corporate a-hole who could afford those egregiously priced tickets in the lower deck at Chase Center, who Steve Kerr is relating to here. Is that what Warriors fans are now? Or are they all just like rich, white-collar types? Because that's how this guy talks. That's who he's relating to. It's just the utter D-bags in corporate America who are expected to sacrifice their whole life so that they can maybe one day be a partner. That's his life experience. Stevie Kerr, poster child of privilege, talking like a poster child of privilege. Dude grew up in Malibu's neighbor, Pacific Palisades, talking like he understands anything. Like, get the F out of here, dude. I really cannot stand him. I am just counting down the clock until he is out of our lives, man. Maybe someday I can revere him again for being the head coach of 4 championships, but so far removed from that. All we've seen since that last title, all we've seen for 6 out of 7 years is ineptness, underachieving, poor decision after poor decision. Dude is destroying the Warriors franchise from inside out, and yet you still have a shitload of people revering this schmuck, probably because they never experienced a day of hardship in their own life. So this guy relates to them. Unbelievable, man. So props to 95.7 The Game for asking those questions, but I'm incensed hearing this shit, man. This guy is, again, just thinks he lives in a palace and has earned his spot in this world for when he's done nothing. He did nothing to earn that coaching job. He did nothing, almost nothing. He did hit a game winner in one of those NBA Finals games, but almost nothing as an NBA player, a role player on teams that would have easily won all of those championships without him. Easily. You think the Bulls aren't winning 3 straight if Steve Kerr isn't on that team? They're easily winning 3 straight. You think the Spurs aren't winning those 2 titles without Kerr? Easily winning those 2 titles. Do the Warriors win championships if Mark Jackson stays? Maybe. Who knows? Probably. I feel like if you answer that question, no, you're taking a huge shot at Stephen Curry. Like you don't think he's going to figure it out with Mark? All we saw since Mark Jackson took over was progress. I remember seeing some folks on socials. One of Kerr's apologists was saying, dude, I mean, like all the special feelings with the Warriors started the moment Kerr got here. What are you talking about? And my response to that was, so the Mark Jackson years, that just didn't count to you? Because those felt damn special to me. The dynasty to me started in 2013 when the Warriors upset the 3-seed Nuggets in the first round and pushed a Spurs team that was a juggernaut who became the world champions to 6, including a win in their own building against one of the greatest defensive teams ever. But you have a lot of putzes out there, and these same schmucks likely didn't even start following Warriors basketball until the championship. And because 10 plus years have passed since that championship, they suddenly think they're experts. You have no perspective if that's all you've seen. And it shows. Let's go to a return of the Julian, not just Julian, return of the Julian. Is this the Julian or is this a different Julian? Now I'm confused.
Yes, sir. It's Julian.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you doing? What's your profile photo real fast? Because again, it's forgive me. Actually, I can maximize my window. Yeah. It looks like someone's looking at a screen that says Warriors on it.
Yeah, just March 21st. Kuminga checking the boxes.
Okay, gotcha.
Getting ready for March 21st.
And that says master plan to take Lisa Shars. And Kuminga unfortunately missed the last game the Hawks played due to knee soreness. They played it safe with them. The Hawks still winning that game. How are you doing, man? What's on your mind?
I'm good. So, yeah, Steve Kerr's right. Adults win championships because I really like the championship that KG and Paul Pierce won in 2013 on the Nets. They had Joe Johnson, Darren Williams, Brooke Lopez. That was a great championship of veteran adults, and brought Nets one of their few championships. I also enjoyed the championship by the Rockets when they got Charles Barkley and Scottie Pippen. That was an amazing
with
championship.
Hakeem. Yeah.
Hakeem. I hope you know I'm being sarcastic.
You're being facetious. I get it. You're sarcastic.
Yeah, well, facetious, sarcastic. You know, you probably have a better lexicon of words and understanding than I do, Mr. Professor.
I'm not saying, I'm not claiming I know more than you. The only thing I claim is that if you think this man deserves to keep his job, that's where me and any of you who believe that strongly differ, massively are on different sides of a debate. But I'm not sitting here telling you I know more than you, brother. Well, what's on your mind?
Well, no. So, yeah, that was just all a big joke, and I hope people in the chat understood that I was joking. But, yeah, that doesn't make – I just don't like the hypocrisy from Kerr because I wish someone would have followed up that question when he's saying adults. And you could say, why did you start 20-year-old Brandin Podziemski at 24, 25 – I think it's actually 26 minutes – his rookie year over Klay Thompson. And I wanted to see him respond to that. The initial questions were very surprising by 95.7. I think it's questions that people have been wanting to know for about 2 seasons.
So exactly. It's 2 years, 2-3 years too late, but at least we finally heard it.
Well, 95, they're definitely feeling the pressure just based on how things are playing out. You got a dud. Like you didn't even mention Kristaps Porzingis. So you got a dud and a player that probably won't play. And you have
my God, you're right. Can I stop you for 1 second? Because since you brought that up, just to enlighten people a little more on the latest there. And the reason why I want to quickly touch on this, Julian, if you don't mind, is there's a doctor out there, and I got an email. And let me see this email. His name is Dr. Brian Sutterer. I apologize. Dr. Brian Sutterer he's got a YouTube channel, and he's got a bit of a presence in terms of being one of those MDs, kind of like our local Dr. Paranda, Dr. Narav Paranda, who's kind of made a name for himself in terms of Bay Area sports medicine, going on shows, our show included. He came on once a little while back just to give some expert information on these medical issues. And this doctor, again, Brian Sutter, MD, he has 865,000 YouTube subscribers, and he made his most recent episode, dedicated his most recent episode to lambasting Steve Kerr for that massive foot in the mouth situation with Kristaps Porzingis. What I didn't know until I watched that clip is that it wasn't Shams Charania who broke the news that Kristaps Porzingis, what has ailed him in his final year with Boston and his only year with the Hawks, it wasn't, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. It wasn't just Shams who reported that POTS is what ailed him, right? Because I've been saying on this show, and I thought I was under the premise that Shams Charania is who Steve Kerr was accusing of misinforming the public in telling them that Kristaps Porzingis is POTS. It turns out all Shams did was report on what one of his colleagues at The Athletic got from Kristaps himself. Kristaps Porzingis told a reporter with The Athletic that his diagnosis is POTS. And so this is the misinformation that Steve Kerr originally said came from Kristaps. It wasn't from Shams or anyone else. Kristaps Porzingis told the public it was POTS. And so the fact that Steve Kerr first accused his own player of misinformation, never mind Brian Sutter asking all the same questions we did on this show. Like, why did you not ask him these questions during the physical? Why did you not ask your own doctor to find out what it is? Why are you making a call to the Hawks GM after the trade's done and then you're telling the public what he told you? Massive foot in the mouth situation. But and so then Dr. Sutter went on and said, look, maybe this could be like long form COVID, but then again, long form COVID could also cause POTS. He was also going off on the actual the side effects and ramifications health wise of POTS. If for Porzingis, bringing up words like retirement, because the bottom line is Porzingis probably does have POTS. I don't know where the hell Steve Kerr came up with that misinformation himself and put his foot in his mouth by coming out saying that it's not POTS. But so we don't know what it is exactly, apparently, because Steve Kerr suddenly muddled the whole picture there. But if it is POTS, as Kristaps Porzingis himself said to the public through a journalist, it is a career-ending injury. It is basically exactly in line with what that one guy, I forgot his name, who had come on the show from Georgia a couple times and first really opened our eyes, both myself and the audience, to what POTS can do to someone. It is debilitating. It is a condition that can just basically knock you on your ass for days, if not weeks at a time. It can cause severe migraines. It can cause a visual impairment, mental impairment. It can cause depression. And that's on top of all the physical shit with your heart. And so what Dr. Sutter said in this video, an MD, mind you, this isn't somebody who's just calling himself a doctor, but he's not really an MD. This is a real MD. And what he summarized in this video, and it's about 12 minutes in length, I recommend watching it yourself, is that Kristaps Porzingis, his career is over. Like, his career is done. Because he was reading these questions from readers, and one of the questions was, does this mean that Porzingis will have to retire and his contract's up after the season? He's making $30 million. And Dr. Sutter replied, probably, because this is a condition that severely affects you. And what he was basically laying out is that POTS completely contradicts the lifestyle of a professional athlete, the rigor that goes behind it, the hours, the training. Porzingis doesn't have the physical capabilities to do that. And then you have Steve Kerr putting his foot in the mouth, saying that was misinformation, and then backtracking, saying he was dumb for saying that, and then commenting again another time, saying that it's mysterious what he's dealing with. So what do you, so I still don't know what Kerr's trying to say. Like, is Kerr trying to tell us that the POTS was a misdiagnosis and that this could be something as simple as long form COVID? And that's not necessarily simple. That's a very serious thing in and of itself, but this also feels even more serious than long form COVID. Or did Kerr just, dude, this was just an awful look for Steve Kerr, period. And I hope I made sense saying all that.
No, all that makes sense. And, we probably won't know the true story until the off season. I talked to a Hawks fan. They made a joke. They said that when Steve Kerr called Ansi said, "Oh no, it's not POTS." And so he's like, "Oh, it's just a flu." And Steve Kerr's like, "Okay." And he says, "So how about that Kuminga?" And just like, it's not POTS. That's the headline. It's not POTS. Don't worry, Kerr. You're getting your 20 points.
It was Frank B in Georgia thank you KKS, who was originally really opening our eyes into the seriousness, the severity of POTS. This is a gnarly disease. Well, disease isn't the right word, condition. And point is again, and it begs a million other questions. Like, for example, why did you go through the summer of hell with Kuminga if all you were going to do is give him away for, a used PS2? Like, what was the point of that? Why did you go through all that? And Mike Dunleavy Jr. supposedly said, was asked that exact question. I forgot what the setting was where he actually was briefly interviewed. I can't remember who the reporter was, but this was recent. Mike Dunleavy Jr. was asked about the Kuminga trade and like why he made the move. And Dunleavy's response was he demanded it. And so if a player is going to demand a trade, I'm not going to force him to stay on my team. But then it begs a whole bunch of other questions. Okay, so in the summer meeting where you had with him, where in that Anthony Slater report, that he literally was quoting both Lacob and Kuminga in this meeting with Joe Lacob asking Jonathan Kuminga, "Do you want to be here?" And Kuminga responds, "Do you?" And it's like if the Warriors answer that yes, you didn't act the part, you didn't treat him like you wanted him to be here. And ultimately, if you knew that Steve Kerr was going to be like this, and that's another question. Did Steve Kerr lead the front office on by saying, "Sure, I can make this work out"? That's what Kerr said publicly, by the way. The public reports are that Kerr told the front office he can make it work. He wants him back. Why the hell did you do all that if you had no intention of committing to this kid, and then you gave him away for nothing?
Yeah.
Just gave him away. Like, this is such BS mismanagement. It is egregious at the highest level. I hope heads roll after the season, man. All we can do is hope and pray. I don't know if there's anybody listening to our prayers, but I don't know what else anyone can do. Again, the only other thing I feel like you can do is fans putting pressure on the team, but we know that the wine and cheese crowd at Chase Center is not going to do that. The only folks left are like, social media, I guess. You brought up, Julian, the fact that 95.7 The Game felt the need to ask these questions of Steve Kerr because of public pressure. Well, why don't we amp up that public pressure and get this guy out of there? This has been my entire point from the get-go when it comes to calling out fans who are complacent, who shake pom-poms, who accept things for how they are instead of voicing their frustration. If you don't voice your frustration, you're not going to light a fire under this team to make change. You are part of the problem. Speak out if you are a fan. Yeah. If you're just someone who just enjoys your season tickets or just enjoys your casual relationship with this team, then keep doing what you're doing because you clearly don't give a shit. But if you care, speak up, express your frustration. It literally forced Nico Harrison out with the Mavericks. Fans booing their own team, shooting free throws. That was the final straw. Fans do have power. Use it. Please.
I think the issue with that side is that the people that attend the games, because Warriors tickets are still very expensive.
Yes.
And, I haven't been to a live basketball game in years, probably like maybe over 15. But I was looking at Hawks tickets. They got tickets that are $8. So they got the average casual that's able to buy tickets and go in. And I assume that's the case for many non-California mainstream teams, like non-New York City teams, that the average Joe that works a 9 to 5, that has a nice family, they can go and get tickets with their family, and so you're able to hear the opinions of those that will talk on YouTube or about the fans. But when I look at the audience of San Francisco, I see, and I don't want to be disparaging to people's looks or anything like that, but I just see a lot of I just see a lot of old people. I see it looks like women that are daughters of rich men, because when you're in Oakland,
take out all the look stuff and just focus strictly on the wealthy part.
Yeah. Because if you go to Oakland, you have what was the joke about Jordan Poole? He plays well when the baddies are in the audience. Yeah, and I'm just going to say there's no baddies in the San Francisco audience, especially courtside. I'll just say that. But moving on, I want to respond to Chusen. He said that look at the average team of championship teams. And part of my point that I was going to make earlier is that OKC won with an average of their main players of 23.4. It was a 26-year-old, 23-year-old, 22-year-old, 25-year-old, and a 21-year-old that they were main rotational pieces. And they won. And part of evolving as a coach, and Armando says is that a lot, that the game is changing. We haven't had these, everyone can shoot threes, everyone is tall, everyone is fast. The nutrition, the understanding of the game, the kind of athletes that are being scouted all across the world. This isn't Phil Jackson's 90s. This is not Greg Popovich early 2000s. This is a different era that's happening right now. So, what if the Spurs win this year's championship? Are we going to change our mindset of what it would take to win an NBA championship? And also another hypocritical thing I wanted to point out is that, if you're a Warriors fan, and see, I show up whether they win or lose. But when we look at, and I'm going to admit, I was very busy tonight, so I didn't watch the game, but I see the box scores. And I see Guy Santos had 7 turnovers. He's had 6 turnovers before, a couple of 4 turnover games, 5 turnover game. And I ask,
and there were dumb plays, by the way. If my memory serves correct, one of them, for example, was the inbound at the very end of regulation with the Warriors going for the win, and it was a poor pass. And it got tipped, and that counted as a turnover. 3 or 4 of them were he was trying to play make, and he got to think a little too fancy. One of the turnovers was behind the back, not behind the back traditionally, but the player was behind him, and it was a no look pass that just went to nowhere. It was just a bad. He was trying to play make, and look, the 7 turnovers is ugly, but I will say this: playmakers typically turn the ball over because they're trying to make shit happen, and sometimes you have to take risks in order to score buckets, in order to put the defense on their heel. I don't hate the turnover thing so much. To me, there's such a gross focus on it, when in reality, it should depend on who the individual is. Stephen Curry and Dre and these guys, even at the peak of the dynasty, their turnover numbers were egregious. But you look past it because they were blowing teams out. They're still scoring. And I guess what I'm trying to say is when you look at Podziemski and that the one stat that does look really good for him, and that's the lack of turnovers, to me, that doesn't impress because he's not trying to score buckets out there. He's not trying to make shit happen, largely because he can't, because he doesn't have the height, he doesn't have the physical capabilities to drive routinely past people, to drive.
He doesn't have the vision.
And so he's not going to get turnovers because he's playing it safe 9 times out of 10. But playing it safe ain't going to do shit for you, Yeah. And Chosen, what you're talking about, I think is your comments that I saw. One of them I flagged. Where Chosen, you wrote in our chat tonight that Kerr literally developed Draymond. No, not literally. Literally means objectively, empirically true. That's not literally. Make sure you don't try and teach your kids that word means what you think it means. All he did was make Draymond the starter when David Lee went down with injury, and anyone with eyes could see he was the superior option. He actually gave you defense. He could run the offense like a point guard. That wasn't Steve Kerr teaching him these things. He was doing all this stuff before. He just happened to get an opportunity. He seized it. He made the decision easy for his coach when David Lee got healthy again, and that's that. I don't know how you equate Draymond Green seizing an opportunity because of injury and translate that to he literally developed Draymond. If anyone developed Draymond, It was Tom Izzo, his coach at Michigan State, where he played all 4 years. And by the end of the fourth year, Draymond Green already was looking like a damn good basketball player. I don't know why he fell to where he did in the second round, but I do have to push back strongly on literally. You could say it's your opinion. I will strongly agree to disagree on that. Don't use words like literally, because that means objectively, and there's no way you can objectively prove that. Chosen also adding that it's delusional to want to lose to be a lottery team, because being without Kerr, Dre, and Steph is a better option. Chosen. Steph turns 38 in a week and hasn't played in over a month. They're already without him. What makes you assume that he's magically going to be healthy next year when he's a year older? Like, why would you assume that? Draymond Green is borderline cooked and barely, if ever, brings value tonight, notwithstanding, without Steph by him. And that leaves Stevie Kerr, who can't develop a fly. Just admit you are grossly biased towards Steve Kerr and just leave it at that, all right? If we're going to use the word delusional out here, don't forget how the Warriors got Stephen Curry through the lottery. Don't forget how they got Klay Thompson through the lottery. Don't forget how they got Harrison Barnes, which turned into Kevin Durant, which turned into Andrew Wiggins. The lottery. You can't build teams without it unless you're the Lakers. Warriors aren't the Lakers. You're not going to just consistently recruit top-level free agents here. You got to build your team through the draft. And I'm sorry, if you want to wait until this thing just runs on fumes, which I will argue is already happening, given this team, even with the win tonight, is just 2 games above 500 as the 8th seed going nowhere. If they're not running on fumes now, when in your mind are they chosen? Like, some people, I guess, will just die in a hill. Like, Steve Kerr's my guy. Steve Kerr's my guy. I like Steve Kerr. Like, I don't get it. I don't blindly. I don't have blind loyalty for people or things like you do. Like I judge them based on their actions every goddamn day of my life. Someone 5 years ago who was amazing at something could turn into absolute shit at that same job 5 years later. You got to stay relevant. You got to stay current in terms of analysis. You got to live in the present, my friend. This Warriors dynasty is dead. It's over. Steph hasn't played in at least a month. I mean, how many games has he missed now? 12, something like that? You got runner's knee, which is an old man injury. You need to live under the premise the Warriors no longer have Steph. And if he's available at any point for the rest of his tenure, those are lucky bonus days, man. Draymond Green does not have value without Stephen Curry. He's not an elite offensive player. His defense is situational in terms of its benefit. So what are you holding on to here, man? Like ditch the whole cheerleader thing. This is my whole argument. Stop the blind loyalty. It's okay to question your team. It doesn't mean you're a bad fan. If anything, it means you're a damn good fan, because without you calling out your team, there is no impetus for change. There's no incentive. Goddamn, Chosen. Come on, man. Like, you've been on this show. I've sensed higher acumen from you than ridiculous comments like these. Julian, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say my rebuttal to his first comment with the Draymond Green thing. I would agree with him a bit as far as Steve Kerr did make a decision that took some coaching guts, and I think that's when the fans start like, oh, we have a good coach that made a unique decision, and you discovered something. The thing about a fan,
real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, Julian, but just while we have people in the chat who are on this topic, because again, this goes back, Barber. This goes back to the whole cheerleading bullshit that it's not how I roll, man. Like, meaningless regular season games do not move the needle. Meaningless wins in a regular season are not substantial. This is not a game that you're going to live the rest of your days remembering and cherishing. If the Warriors lose this and they get an insanely high draft pick with a player that suddenly can give you memories for 10, 15 years straight, that is substantial. And if you just don't think big picture, that's how you roll. I get it. You're probably a much happier person than I am. But you got to think big picture if you want your team to succeed. You have to. I mean, otherwise, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
I don't, and like Dylan Verano in our chat who writes Jim Park, well, whatever, is blindly loyal to Steph, and probably so is a lot of these other fans. Steph is not even playing. What are you loyal to right now, man? It's crazy. Like, but again, that's just me, right? I like focusing on the big picture. I see a team and I see the direction they're going, and I like to think, okay, what's next? Like, this season is shot. You're not winning a title. You're lucky if you get out of the play-in. If you get out of the play-in, you're going to get your ass kicked in the first round. Like, there's another paid chat here. This is from Irish Forever, dropping $1.99, saying the Spurs are the Rockets of last year. We can take them, dude. You're honestly, seriously saying that Victor Wembanyama compares to anyone on the Rockets last year? Like the Rockets, in addition to Victor Wembanyama, have this insanely talented, high IQ supporting cast of whether it's Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle. I don't know if De'Aaron Fox is high IQ, but he's talented as shit. De'Aaron Fox, the Seal, Harrison Barnes, our guy, who I still miss to this day. It is night and day, man. The Spurs are a real title contender. If you forgot what happened last year, seeds 2 through 7 were all muddled. That's not how it's going. It isn't rolling like that this year. This year, you still have OKC at the top. The Spurs have carved a niche as that number 2 team, and they're already in contender status. No one last year was pretending the Rockets were a contender. I'm going to have to strongly push back.
Irish, you also don't have Jimmy Butler this year. So it's not the same, Irish. And
on top of everything else, my God, you're right. And they don't have Jimmy Butler. I mean, how do you overcome that? You don't have Jimmy Butler. You traded away Kuminga. Where are the points going to come from? I like this team's defense, but, and you're going to get some fluky games like tonight offensively, but this is not a team that's going to make any noise this postseason, man. The only path that I see, if you want to be logical about this and not celebrate meaningless regular season games or celebrate reaching the first round of the playoffs like that's some accomplishment, it's not when you have Stephen Kerr on your team. Dude, the only logical step here is improve your roster through the draft. Tank and get a good seeding. Worst comes to worst, you tank, you don't win the lottery, and you still end up with like the 10th pick. I'd rather have the 10th pick in the draft than like 20th or 17th or whatever they might end up with if they're not a playing team. And I'd like this team to be in the running for the lottery. It's you gotta have things to be excited for too. Like, this team has virtually nothing to be excited for in terms of the future. You get a draft pick, you suddenly have someone that you can study and suddenly get your hopes up with each good game, and you don't know what the ceiling is, so the potential factor is like limitless. There's none of that with this team. I mean, maybe guys like LJ Crier, but I mean, the odds are 2 weeks from now, if we see a lot of LJ Crier, the odds are that excitement will abate, and we're going to be like, damn, another two-way player. Like, I might be wrong on that. So far, so damn good with LJ Crier, but my point is, dude, you got to go through the draft. It's how this was built, and yeah. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, it's selfish as a fan to root for this team to make the playoffs, because that's only for your enjoyment. It's not for the long-term future. They might get some boost in revenue sales for how many playoff games that they play. But the worst case scenario is that Steph Curry tries his little heart out and injures himself like we saw last year. And you hope that is not too serious for a 38-year-old. And they push a team in the first round to 7 games like the Spurs, like Irish said. I don't think you have a chance against the Spurs, but that's just for the fans' enjoyment. But for the better health of this team is to stay out of the top 8 teams that make the playoffs and get one of these draft picks. Because if anybody, I didn't know a few months ago, but I've done some research. If anybody doesn't know how deep this draft is, look at the top 10 picks, and I would say the top 5 are franchise changers, and you have a lot of sleepers throughout the throughout the draft itself that could be all-stars as well. There's 2 great point guards that you can definitely be a backup, take the reins from Steph Curry when he retires. You have a great center. You have a lot of great power forwards. You have game-changing small forwards and a game-changing shooting guard. So if you are a fan, like, why would you selfishly want the title of, oh, we made the playoffs, we did it? And that doesn't mean anything. And here's the thing: sports don't mean anything, guys. Like, we enjoy it, but it does nothing for our lives. To say, oh, my city won, like it's just kind of attachment. Like when soccer and football, they said, oh, my country beat your country. It means nothing. All right, it's a business, and if you truly are a fan,
unless you're emotionally attached to that team, then it might mean something. I've also seen communities rally together. It's actually, have you never had your city win a title?
No, yeah, of course. The Yankees. I live right next to
you. You just think New York, like, kind of, at least for one night,
united? Well, maybe it's just me getting older. Like when I was young, my like I told you, I grew up a Kobe fan. My daily highs and lows were attached to whether the Lakers won or not. And that was me in like my, late teens and early 20s and stuff. But then I realized, like, I cannot be attached to someone else's accomplishments. I like basketball. I love it. It's great stories. It's good entertainment, like flipping on a show you like. But as far as the emotional highs and lows that come from attaching yourself to someone else's accomplishments, I stepped away from that. And then once I stepped away from that emotional aspect, I started to realize that, for example, the parades, they only last a day, then everyone goes right back to their normal lives.
Julian, you're being such a buzzkill right now, bro. You're being such a buzzkill.
Well, I just want people to like look at it like a business standpoint. Hey, the best thing for the Warriors.
So Julian, why do you follow sports if you don't have the emotional attachment?
No, I just said I love basketball. It's great entertainment. I love the stories.
Okay.
So it's not that I have.
So you're a narrative guy at this point in your life.
Yeah, it's not that I'm cut off from the attachment, but as far as, like, for example, Red Sox and Yankees fan, there's no reason for anyone to ever get in a bar fight because of sports.
Bullshit. Bullshit, dude. If some Laker fan at a bar just said the wrong thing to me, I'm cutting their neck.
Yeah,
and it might be arrested for murder.
Like I was like a like UNC and Duke. There's no reason why a family should deny one of their children from marrying a Duke fan if they're
agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. If I ever had a daughter and one day she comes home, she's like, "Look, my boyfriend, he's wearing like Laker gear." There might be a baseball bat accidentally cracking his skull accidentally.
Well, I hope that doesn't come to that case.
I'm not trying to condone violence here. Forgive me. I'm joking. But you get the gist. For some people, these rivalries run deep, man. You don't believe in rivalries, is what you're saying. You think they're petty.
I believe they're healthy as far as conversational bragging rights, but to take it to your personal life as far as, okay, my child can't date this person, or I'm going to fight in a bar and risk injury and life and death over sports. I don't think that's a way to live your life.
I mean, look, you're speaking like a rational person here. Yeah. And that's where I guess you and I will have to we'll part ways in terms of our of trying to be logical, reasonable people, because I still do have the crazy side of me where there are certain rivalries that just push my buttons. Like, for example, with the NFL side, or even basketball, LeBron. Mm-hmm. Like if I ever had a son and one day he came to me and said, "Dad, LeBron James is the GOAT," I'd kick him in the nuts.
What was that recently? I think it's one of Giannis.
Slap him, pimp slap him. Maybe pimp slapping would be better than a kick in the nuts, because that's risking my DNA for the future, my line. But I'd do a nice big slap, bat pimp slap. Like certain things I think are sacrilegious, and you move past that apparently. Whereas petty, immature people like me.
When I see 76ers fans, or I'm sorry, Eagles fans destroy their city because they won, I think you've crossed the line if you're burning cars and vandalizing buildings because you won. So.
Like if I had a daughter and one day she said, "Me and my boyfriend," and suddenly Nicholas Kerr walked in, oh boy.
No. Okay, so that I'll agree with you with that. Just like this is You're forbidden.
Anyways. All right.
Yeah, but last thing I'll say, I don't know if you've seen it wasn't like too much of a shot, but Dunleavy, he recently came out and said something that he hasn't seen any of Kuminga's games. That's fine, but he also said it sounds like he's playing the right way. Just another unnecessary thing to say.
By the way, Hamza in the chat is saying, I'm not trying to wait an entire offseason just to get the 14th pick, and under Kerr, it's going to be ass. Let me provide a little more perspective here. The season's over in a month. The draft lottery happens early in the postseason if memory serves correct, right? Do they have a date for that this year? Let me look that up real fast. The NBA draft lottery. So, and then the offseason itself is 3 months, and the draft, I believe, is in June. So you'd basically have June, July, August to learn about your new player and find out just how good or bad of a pick it was. The other part of it regarding Kerr, there is a very strong possibility Kerr does not come back. And I actually have more hope of that happening, not because Joe Lacob might come to his senses, but because money talks, and Steve Kerr makes a shitload of it. And Joe Lacob does still have to talk to the Board of Governors every time a decision like that is made, where a significant expenditure is coming out of the team and the organization's budget. And so my one weird hope is that Steve Kerr is not going to come back, and it will ultimately come down to that $20 million price tag that's on his head. So you can bring back a guy that has clearly no clue how to develop players. So Hamza, revise the thinking a little bit in terms of how the draft would work. It's not going to be a whole offseason unless you're like 18, 19 years old. And I can understand 3 months feeling like a lifetime, but you get a little older and suddenly, like time moves very fast before you know it. And then it will not feel like forever.
Well, my question is, like, what are you waiting for, Hamza? Are you just waiting for a 500 record and, a nice one playoff win, losing in 5? Like, what are we really waiting?
And by the way, well, there's that too. But here's the mock draft, by the way, currently. They were already publishing these things, which is phenomenal. Someone in the chat asked, who would fall to 11? Well, here's what the mock draft has for 8 through 11. Right now, if the Memphis Grizzlies, that's who the hypothetical team in this mock draft is. This is courtesy of Bleacher Report.
Do you want to post it up on the screen, Cyrus? Or
I don't know, because there's ads and shit. I'll just say them out loud. This is not the best display. And F Bleacher Report, man. I'm not going to give him more love. Brandin Burress, or is it Burries? Have you heard of that guy from Arizona?
What's his name again?
Brayden, Brayden. Last name either Burress or Burries, Burries. He plays for Arizona. He's a 6'4", 205-pound shooting guard.
No, I haven't heard that guy.
The 9th pick in this mock draft is Jaden Quaintance from Kentucky, a 6'10", 255-pound power forward. Side note, he's only 18 right now. Yeah. No, I don't want Kerr touching any of these.
Which website are you on? I'm on CBS Sports. I see that Jaden Quaintance. It says that he's a center at 255 pounds.
Jaden, the positions don't matter, but this says he's 6'10", 255. That could be a center or power forward. Arkansas has a player at the 10th pick in this mock draft. Look, every mock draft's going to be different, so I'm just reading you one of them. Darius Acuff Jr. Plays for Arkansas. 6'3", 190, point guard, shooting guard. Don't want him, right? Let's pass on that. The mock draft for the 11th pick is LeBaron Philon Jr. of Alabama, 6'4", 185, point guard. Don't want that. Now the 12th pick mock-wise, and this is going to play a part too. Like, some teams need a guard, some teams don't need a guard. The Warriors.
What pick did you start down? I thought you were working your way up.
I started with 8, and I'm going down. No, none of this matters right now. And then the OKC Thunder in this mock draft have the 12th pick via the Clippers, and they're going with Thomas Haw of Florida. Thomas Haw is 6'9", 215, slightly older, a little more ready to play. And he's a player that's more about fit than upside. That's the diagnosis. Great 3-point shooter. Another player, Kareem Lopez from the New Zealand Breakers, 6'8", 225, just 18 years of age. His pro comp, Franz Wagner. Or Nate Ament of Tennessee, 6'10", 207, 19 years old. His pro comp is Zachary Rieselshah. Braylon Mullins of UConn, 6'5", 190, 19 years of age. Elite shooter. There's a lot of players, man. There's a guy that looks like Anthony Lamb. His name is Koa Pete of Arizona, 6'8", 235, just a stacked big boy.
It sounds like you don't want to.
I'm so much looking forward to the draft. It's been a long time since the Warriors have been in it.
It sounds like you don't want a point guard. Is that true, or because you said no to some point guard?
Rumors. Those are just rumors.
No. When you were reading the point guards, you said no, I don't want that.
Yeah, it's speculation. Okay. I won't confirm it, but right now that's
if the Warriors could get like 6 or 7 around there, Kingston Flemings and Michael Brown Jr. are the 2 point guards that you want to look at.
Now Hamza does make a point here where it says if Kerr does return, this tank plan is cooked. You're right. Which is why I don't want him back. And if he comes back and you still get a high draft pick, I don't want that young individual anywhere near Steve Kerr. Please. All you're doing is poisoning this talent. All you're doing is lowering his value. All you're doing is hindering development. Hard pass.
Yeah, wasn't it Warriors' first championship team? Weren't they relatively young? I thought adults.
Very young, yeah. I mean, Stephen Curry was, I think, 20. How old was he? Like 25? No. He was, I think, 27 or 28. But then you're right. Clay was in his mid-20s. Dre was in his mid-20s. Steph was about, I think, 26 or 27. And Hamza's saying, so it's risky to tank right now. Well, yeah, but what's the risk? That a player plays under Kerr for a year? I'd rather take that risk than what? Losing the play-in? Then try to get out of the play-in? I mean, I don't. What's the alternative? Like, what are you advocating for, Hamza? To keep trying to win random games here and there, finish as a 500 team, and hope for the best?
The average age was 26 years old, by the way.
What's up?
Average age was 26 years old, by the way. Steph Curry, 26, Thompson, 25, Green, 25, Harrison Barnes, 22. And
a true mentality writing in all caps. Hamza, the Warriors are not getting to the second round. Don't be delusional, please. This getting to the second round means you're beating one of these other teams in a 7-game series. Hell no, in terms of that happening. I don't even see the Warriors getting out of the play-in, but yeah, I mean, if by some miracle, like you get out of the play-in and you're either the 7 seed where you're playing San Antonio or the 8 seed and you're playing OKC, that is a colossal ass kicking. Because one thing a lot of folks I don't think are factoring is that every one of these remaining games in the regular season for the Warriors, and Armando Lora was 1,000% right saying this, these are trap games for the opposition, meaning most other NBA teams right now have virtually no respect for the Warriors. When Stephen Curry is not on that team and they're looking at Brandin Podziemski as the number one guy, he doesn't strike fear in their hearts. Yeah. Unfortunately for those teams, though, because they don't respect the Warriors that much, their guard is down. The aggression is not there. The urgency is not there. The intensity is not there. All of those factors that help the Warriors win these random regular season games is gone the moment you get to the playoffs, where everything is tight, every possession matters, where talent suddenly plays a massive part in this. The Warriors just don't have the talent.
Yeah, to those that believe that we're going to make the second round, my question to them is who on the Warriors that are left can be that second option for Steph Curry to truly bring defenses away from him. Last year was Jimmy Butler, and he gave 19 points per game. Who's that second option? No one. You read off the list of numbers of people that and their scoring averages. You can't count on Guy Santos or Pods to step up to be a 20-point per game scorer. You know you're not going to get that from Draymond. There's no one else, so you're not going to get that from Melton. You might get 15 points from Melton on any given night, but just using some logic, especially against the Spurs. Like, what are you thinking against the Spurs? Like you mentioned, De'Aaron Fox, Wemby, Castle, Vassell, Sheldon Sharp, I think his name, or no, it's not Keldon Johnson. There you go. You're not going to
another good player. Yeah,
you're not going to match that kind of talent. So, but I'll let you go, Cy. If someone else wants to jump on, I just want to ask some questions about the logic that Kerr has, his hypocrisy. That Podziemski is one of the best defenders on the team, and
Kerr has one line of logic. What can I say to make myself look good? That's it. That's it. What can I do to save face? What can I do to keep making Chase Center my kingdom, where I walk in and 20,000 people cheer for me and think I'm some genius? Like that's Kerr's entire agenda here. It's just, how can I preserve my legacy? That's all that dude gives a shit about at this point.
Just like
everything else.
Just like Josh said, Guy got us. 7 turnovers, stumbling over his feet. He'll hustle, get 11 rebounds, but he got us in that second round. He's going to really, really give it to Wemby. So.
And again, Chosen here is saying tanking won't help us. Do the math. Bye, Julian. Have a good night. What math? If the Warriors finish as the 14th team in the lottery, they have a 0.5% chance of getting the number 1 pick. The odds for being top 4 are not the same as number 1, by the way. The numbers go way up with top 4. But the Mavericks were team 14, and they got Cooper Flag. Now, if you're the 13th worst team, your odds increase to 1%. 12th, 1.5%. If you finish the 11th worst team, now it's 2%. If you're the 10th worst team, now it's 3%. And it goes up as expected. The top 3 teams each have a 14% chance. And if you're 4th, 12.5%. If you're the 5th worst team, 10.5%. I don't know what math you're talking about. What do you mean? What math are you talking about? I'm still waiting for a follow-up. Billy, welcome to the program.
Oh, dang. I wasn't expecting to be on this early. What's going on?
It's not that early, is it? We're almost at the 2-hour mark. Good to see you, though, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. No, when I said earlier, I meant because usually after Julian, it goes somebody else, and then
I just go in chronological order. Tonight, you were next, and then Bad Hombre's next, and then Tim of the City, and then I imagine Shardall will finish up.
Say less. Hey, no complaints over here. Hey, man. I got a couple things to definitely touch up on. First things first, super happy for you. You always write about LJ Crier, and I just want to say, I'm a fan of him too, because when I was watching him in the Final Four on Houston's team, he's so good, step back threes and all this stuff, and it's just such a shame that it took for the whole team to be out for him to finally get an opportunity when he should have had a chance by now. He's really good.
He looked good, yeah. And his 3-point shot especially was going. There was one possession where, and I imagine it pissed Kerr off, where he just immediately chucked a 3, and I don't know if he was heat checking. I don't know if he just felt it, but there was no ball movement. It was really early in the shot clock, and he was like, "F this! I'm just going to put up a 3," and he totally bricked it. But that was the only possession that that to me wasn't great, and that's something that as a young player you learn. But yeah, man, 20 minutes, 15 seconds, 50% shooting from deep. I'll take it.
No, he was great. And no, like you said, it just sucks that there's only one person on the team, especially one young guy, that doesn't have to feel that pressure of getting yanked out the game, compared to anybody else. They have to always look over their shoulders and play a specific type of way. They can't make no mistakes or else they're just getting yanked. But it's disgusting. So shout out to LJ Crier. And then also,
yeah, right.
And then secondly, man, the Houston Rockets are such a shit show. This It's really bad, man. Like, you're not supposed to be losing this game, especially at home. Like, I agree with you. I feel like we agree on a lot of things, but the Jabari Smith situation, I never understood what people saw in that dude. He is so bad. Like, his mechanics when he shoots, I just never have any confidence that it goes in. And he looks off KD and, like, a lot of people off so much and takes his own shots. Like, what are you doing, dude? You're not that good. You're not that guy. Stop doing that. Like, stop thinking you're him. Stop that. And then also Şengün. Şengün might have the worst. Like, I actually like Şengün, but he might have the worst touch I've ever seen for a big man in, like, a very long time. Like, for him to be around the rim that much and miss so many bunnies, it's kind of laughable.
Well, and defensively, he's a massive liability. And again, look, if you're a Nikola Jokic, where offensively you're a god, like, you're already starting to, you know, have your name mentioned among the all-time greats, and, like, fine, you can survive having, you know, being slow-footed defensively and being a bit of a liability. But Şengün, like, his three-point shot is inconsistent. Like you said, his touch around the rim, it's making more sense what KD wrote in those tweets or those messages. Now, with that said, KD had a shitty game too. Like, KD was awful tonight, man. Like,
he did. The
whole Rockets were awful tonight. And for folks in the chat wondering, like, what's the math for the Warriors tanking? Like, the best case scenario is you finish with the 10th worst record. And what I mean by that is, I think you can, if the Warriors took the tanking seriously, and again, Steve Kerr has no intention of tanking, which another reason why I can't stand the man. But let's say the Warriors just keep losing because they're just not that good. You could find yourself in a position where if you fall below the Bucks, you fall below the Clippers, and you fall below the Trailblazers, and those are all very plausible. Like Portland right now is just 3 games behind the Warriors in the loss column. Milwaukee might be a stretch. They're 5 games behind the Warriors in the loss column, but they also just got Giannis Antetokounmpo back, and they may or may not make a run down the stretch. So if the Bucks can pass the Warriors, like, they can be the 10 seed, or not the 10 seed. They can be the 10th worst team in the NBA, meaning you have the 10th best odds of getting the number 1 pick, or even like a top 4 pick, right? I mean, you get a top 4, like, you're essentially winning the lottery. And I don't know what the odds are to get 2, 3, or 4, but it's all in play, man. I mean, that's what they draw the balls for. They're drawing them, or they're drawing them for the top 3, I think, right? Is that how it works? So your odds of getting in the top 3 are solid. I mean, I think it's worth the risk. But you're not going to be worse than the Bulls, Wizards, Nets, and Pacers. Those are your absolute bottom 4 in the East, and you're not going to be worse than the Grizzlies, Mavericks, Pelicans, Jazz, or Kings in the West. So the way that if the way I'm looking at the math here, you can, if you decide to tank for reals, be the 10th or maybe 11th worst team in the NBA. To me, that makes a hell of a lot more logical sense than trying to win meaningless regular season games so you could feel good for one night, only to be reminded the next day when they lose that next game. Because I doubt you're going to see winning streaks from this Warriors team unless there's sections of the schedule where they're playing bad teams consecutively. And I know they have maybe a stretch or 2 of that. Next week, I believe they play Utah, Chicago, and Minnesota. No, they're not going to be Minnesota. Well, they're going to play Utah and Chicago in consecutive games. So that might be a 2-game winning streak.
Chicago kind of got a frisky win today against the
Suns. They did. The following week, they're going to play the Wizards. No, but then they play the Celtics after that. I don't know where, like, maybe the Jazz and the Bulls will be their winning streak. Near the end of March, they play Dallas, Brooklyn, and the Wizards. 3 straight at home. All right, so that might be your winning streak right there. But still, to me, it's just tank. I don't know what sense it makes to keep winning, man. I mean, unless Steph is for sure going to come back, and I've heard 0 assurances of that, I don't get the point. What do you think about all that, Billy?
Yeah, you know how I feel about the whole tanking and lottery pick situation. Unfortunately,
I forgot. I'm sorry. How do you feel?
Remember how we talked about it last time? I said that if Steve Kerr is back, there's no point in like utilizing lottery picks, because I would even draft them during like on draft day or like in the offseason if I have to, and try to get a good player then, because if Steve Kerr's coming back, you already know the young development is not going to get, the young talent is not going to get developed. They're just going to get, stunted their growth or whatever. So and like I said, all indicators point to him coming back. That's what it's looking like right now. As much as me and you both don't want that, that's just how it's looking. So
we'll see, man.
Yeah, but the Rockets, that was disgusting. Like you said, Şengün, man, if you're not gonna put him offensively and be that bad, because everybody was switching on him. Melton, Podziemski, I seen Post take him down there. Horford, it was like, dude, what the hell? And Ime, you also touched up on Ime. Like, I like Ime, but man, his rotation sometimes is kind of like stupid. Like, he leaves Jabari and Şengün out there way longer than they need to be, especially when they're making mistakes. Like, and especially Reed Shepherd. Like, Reed Shepherd and KD, the only two guys on the team that can create their own shots, which is like insane. I like Reed Shepherd a lot, and he doesn't even sometimes he doesn't even start most of the time, which is kind of insane to me. It's like he's your only true point guard. So like, what the hell?
And again, Hamza in the chat saying, "What are the chances the Warriors get the 11 seed for a good pick?" What do you mean? You mean like what are the chances they fall to 11? If they tank, very easily. I mean, if the Warriors start intentionally losing, they will get passed by Portland, the Clippers, the Hawks, who technically are a game behind them right now. So it's not very low odds to try and tank to get to 11. You can even tank and try and get to 10. And then again, the odds of you getting the number 1 pick, if you are the 10 seed, is 3%. If you're the 11th seed, when I say seed, I mean like in terms of the draft lottery, 2%. But that's just for the number 1 pick. Those odds go way up in terms of picks 2 and 3. That's what they're drawing the ball for, the lottery balls for. So
yeah, I mean, the way the last couple of draft lotteries have went, you don't know, you might get the number 1 pick. You definitely could.
And they draw 4 balls.
Yeah,
they do draw 4 balls. So I'm looking this up right now. So the fact that there's the base, essentially this draft. Now, this is all the more reason you need to tank, because what this comes down to is this draft is set up where any one of the top 4 picks, you're getting a winner. You're getting someone who could change the fortunes of your team almost overnight.
For sure.
Top 4, not just 1. So let's say you finish as the 10th worst team in the NBA. You have a 3% chance of getting the number 1 pick, but the odds of getting 2, 3, or 4 are way higher than that. And I guess what I don't understand is why you don't want to help yourself get to that position. Well, like this alternative you prefer? I don't. This is where you're losing me. This is where I don't get your the reasoning behind trying to win a worthless regular season game. This is worthless. What does winning tonight get you? Just who are you bragging against? Like, who are you talking shit to that you beat the Rockets tonight? Do you have Rockets fans in your life who are bragging to you, talking shit to you that you now get to have bragging rights over? I highly doubt it. Who are you? Like, what is the point? What did the Warriors get from winning tonight? Can someone answer that?
Quickly, before you for that, what is your in order? How would you draft the top 4 in your order? In your opinion?
I have not done enough research to answer that. I guess I do have a small opinion on it. Let me tell you, but
right
I
now
need to do way more research to have a stronger
opinion. 4 names.
Here's based on what I've seen of these 4 players. Here's my pecking order.
Okay.
1 is AJ DeBonsa. 2 is Caleb Wilson.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I also haven't done enough research on Wilson and Boozer to determine which one of the. But those are my 2, 3.
So
maybe
the
order can be flipped.
Completely. You're out.
You can convince me to say Boozer's better. And then Darren Peterson, talent-wise, I know he's number 1, but I need to learn more about why he's missing so many games. Like, that is such a flag. And considering how important of a variable hunger is in the modern NBA, meaning how bad you want it, like for a player to just be sitting out games left and right and with cramps being an excuse, I don't know. That's a flag. I need to learn more about that person. And obviously I'm not going to get access to these people for interviews. The teams do. I need to know more about his character, man. If Darren Peterson is actually that guy and this just happened to be a weird coincidence, he's missing so many games, meaning these injuries are legitimate, okay, then fine. I'm happy with Darren Peterson because he does look insanely good. Like, he looks like he could be a mega star in the NBA someday. But the hunger is important, man. So to me, those other three guys, not to mention you're getting size, like and DeBonce has a little more finesse. I know he's skinny, but he's super tall. Those other two guys are just bruisers. I'd be happy with any of them, man.
Yeah,
but it's a question I'm still asking. The Chosens and the Hamzas. What did the Warriors get by winning tonight? Barber, answer that in the chat for me, please. What did the Warriors get by winning tonight?
Absolutely.
W in the so that what they now have 32 wins. Do they get some sort of a medal if they reach the 40 win mark? Like, does your mommy give you a cookie if the Warriors go above 500? What did the Warriors get with this win tonight? And Sven, please don't use offensive language. People are complaining about you. Just refrain from that. See, Barber saying they get a 32-30 record. What does that get you? Tanking can get you one of the best players in recent draft history. Winning gets you a 32-30 record. So just some imaginary numbers in your head. That's what you prefer.
Even if you add
JQB says good vibes. Does anything about the Warriors feel like good vibes to you this season? Where JQB, where in the world are you? Like, what setting are you in where a regular season win like this with your team being stuck in the 8th seed for 2+ months, now 2 games above 500, where are you in the world so that a game like this gives you good vibes? Do you happen to be in a Warriors bar and you guys are celebrating? That could be an exception for tonight. And then that means nothing tomorrow. What are you getting out of this? That's what I'm trying to understand. Facet in the chat saying, what a terrible mindset. What's the terrible mindset? That I prefer planning for the future instead of celebrating meaningless regular season wins? If that's what you're saying, I'm going to flip the script on you and say, you have a terrible mindset and not planning at all for future success and not seeing how mediocre the product currently is and wanting to improve on that. Winning doesn't improve the product. Losing might. Facet. If that's what you're saying, flipping it right back on you. GHK is saying that tanking would make Steph look weak. How? He's not playing. How does that make him look weak? Explain that to me. What's the logic there? Not to mention they tanked in 2019-20. So how did that? I don't remember Steph looking weak in that scenario. Why would he look weak now? Don't spam the chat either, please. Okay, like we see you the first 10 times you wrote something. No need to continue. Hamza saying, well, Steph's going to return. I'm sorry, is there a source that's feeding you that? Like, what are you basing that information on? Are hopes and dreams suddenly like facets of reality? What's going on here? I don't get you, Kerr apologists. I have no understanding of how your mind works, unless you're just really just casual, unless you're just the most casual fans who only shows up for games and doesn't read a thing about them otherwise. I guess I kind of get it, but Chosen, I just explained the math to you. They can get to 10th. The hardest part to get to 10th would be Milwaukee, who currently has 35 losses. The Warriors have 30 losses. That's the toughest part. Portland currently has 33 losses. Side note, Portland's playing this Houston team tomorrow night. They could very easily finish worse than those two teams. And if they finish worse than Milwaukee and Portland, you are the 10th worst team in the NBA. Hamza is saying, I hate Kerr. I just don't want to tank. Why? Explain the you don't want to tank thing logically, please. Not it feels right or it makes Steph look weak or whatever the F. Like, and GHK saying Steph was OFS in 1920. I don't know what does OFS mean, Billy? Do you know? I don't know what OFS means. XSIN saying Steph wants to return. No one's doubting that. I don't think any player who's hurt is celebrating it. Hamza saying that I'm willing to risk a 3% chance. Again, that's for the top seed. The odds start skyrocketing for the second pick, for the third pick, for the fourth pick. Any one of those 4 picks are gems. And again, if you don't take that risk, what's the alternative? This shit? Yeah, we know Hamza that Steph was out the 1920 season. He still played 4 or 5 games, but Steph's out now. What's the difference? Yes, both seasons they were injured. Steph the GOAT saying tanking is useless. And Steph, this is where I know you're ignorant, because if you believe that, then I guess the Warriors don't get Harrison Barnes in the 2012 draft. That launches the entire dynasty. I guess you didn't care about Barnes, which led to KD, which led to Wiggins. They only get that because Mark Jackson, his rookie year as head coach of the Warriors, was astute enough to tank. The Warriors, if that pick fell to 8th, would have lost it. It was top 7 protected. Mark Jackson was smart enough to tank that season. They got the number 7 pick, which is what Stephen Curry was as well. It was Harrison Barnes. Rest is history. So strongly agree to disagree with that ridiculous rhetoric. And Steph the GOAT saying, why waste another year of Steph? What are we wasting? He's out injured. Okay, if he makes a comeback, let's maybe revisit. But here's the bottom line. If you start tanking now, and let's say Steph magically, borderline miraculously comes back with, let's say, like a week to play in the season. Tank or no tank, you're still a play-in team. The difference is you're either the 8 seed or let's say the 10 seed. That's it. And if you want to hold out, if you want to risk your draft position so that Steph can come back as the 8 seed versus the 10 seed, then fine. You're a homer who only cares about, Steph's playoff positioning for a one and done. They're not going anywhere, man. I mean, are you delusional enough to think that the Warriors actually have a shot this postseason, even with Steph? Are you delusional enough to think that Steph is just going to magically stay healthy when he comes back? You don't think things like runner's knee can come back or another ailment can emerge? Dude's old. This is what happens to old people. Their bodies break down. Let's try reality here. Now, Steph, you might be onto something asking what makes me think that the GM will actually draft well. If you get a top 4 pick, it doesn't matter who the GM is. Beyond that, you're right. Could be a risk. I'd still rather have a bad GM with a high pick than a bad GM you're stuck with regardless, and have a shitty lower pick just so that you could feel good about Steph maybe being an 8 seed instead of a 10 seed. True Mentality actually bringing some rhyme and reason here, saying, wait, why are we trying to make a run of the postseason when $140 million is sitting on the bench? Exactly. Barber saying winning is all I care about. Well, you think they're going to be winning in a year or two if they don't start prepping? Like, you think they're this team now is winners? They're 2 games above 500. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm done with this argument. If you don't want to tank, fine. You don't want to tank. It's no logic behind it, none whatsoever. And I at least try to be a logical person. Billy, I don't know what happened to you. Thanks for the call. Bad hombre. We'll wrap up with you, and then we'll bring on Shardall and go through the scoreboard. How you doing?
Hey, Cyrus. I'm doing.
Oh, and I got some emails I'm going to read to you. Yeah, what's up? Hi.
I'll be really quick. That interview pissed me off.
Yes.
It shows that Kerr is full of shit. First of all,
he's a dude. He is a class A phony, man. Like, there is nothing real or genuine about that dude at all. He just spits out whatever bullshit he thinks will make him sound and look better. I've never. Every time I think my opinion of him can't go lower, a new interview comes out. It's insane. Absolutely. I have an amazing email we're going to get to in just a second, too. Ombre, It's great to hear from you. What's on your mind, man?
The reason why it pissed me off is because, dude, you're a role player. You're a fucking role player. In the finals, you went 3 for 20 from deep and averaged 5 points. Yes.
Which finals?
It was in the second three-peat. I heard this stat the other day. I don't know exactly which one. He averaged 5 points. He was a role player. So I don't know why are you interested in the Bulls rookies anyway?
Because
you're a role player.
Because he's got a massive ego, man. Which is also a huge turnoff for me. Anybody who walks around in this world with a huge ego is just flags, red effing flags. And a part of me wants to just, if I have the opportunity, immediately bust that shell and make this huge ego of theirs turn and expose the huge insecurities hiding underneath. But Steve Kerr is living in his ivory tower, man. He has full control over everything. So kudos to him, I guess.
He wasn't being honest, because if MJ wanted a young guy to play, that young guy was getting on the floor. And I doubt if Phil, I don't think he was telling the truth, because Phil, that first three-peat, Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, that was their third or fourth year when did the first three-peat. So I doubt seriously if Phil even told him that. Hello?
Keep going, man. I'm listening.
Yeah, so it was all bullshit. Another thing about playing young players, this is a stat that I found out yesterday. The KD Warriors, 2017, 2018, they set the record for they set the record for the most consecutive blowouts, 6 straight wins by 15 or more points, until they got tied last night by the Charlotte Hornets.
And by the way, Simon too is just adding some perspective, some context for what you said about Kerr. It was the '96 finals, apparently. That 3 for 20 shooting performance that you mentioned a moment ago.
The Hornets tied that the Warriors record of most consecutive blowouts. I don't know if you saw it last night. They beat the shit out of the Celtics. But the point I'm trying to make here is that's all a bunch of young kids. So I guess in Kerr's mind, Charles Lee shouldn't be playing them because they're young? That's really all I tried to say. And to piggyback off of what you and Julian are saying, it seems like the Warriors fan base is almost divided into two camps. The elites who go to the game who don't really watch ball or understand ball, and the real fans who just love ball, who have a deeper understanding of what's really going on. And that's all I wanted to say. But Kerr is just full of crap. I don't know why they didn't come back with are you sure Phil did that? You sure Phil, because we saw with our own eyes that he did actually play young players when they won their first three-peat. But he got zero.
I remember BJ Armstrong being young. I don't know exactly.
Young.
Right? Now I want to look.
He was out of I forgot where he went. Was it Illinois? But he was a young kid too. And he was he was taking minutes from Paxson. They pretty much moved Paxson to the bench and let BJ start.
Correct. I could have swore he was very young when that happened.
The
only other young player I remember was, I think, Coffey. Jason Coffey or whatever? Side note, BJ Armstrong was a second-year player.
Yeah.
When the Bulls won their first title.
And he moved Paxson to the bench, and Phil went with him. So why would Phil lie on his own coaching ability?
Well, because they're probably speaking generally. Not to mention, BJ Armstrong was not there for the second 3 titles, so he was gone by that point. And again, it's just. But more importantly, again, Kerr will just say anything to save face. You know, like
and the people who go to the games will just take his word for it. Oh, yeah. Podge is our best defender. Why? Because Steve Kerr said so. We all know that was bullshit, Si. What planet are we living on when Brandin Podziemski is our best defender?
I can't believe he like highlighted that. It's like, what? Like what? Like I like that was mind blowing to me. It's like he was like really praising Podziemski's defense. It's like, what are we watching here, man? What's going on? I don't get that, especially among many things. Like the defense, he's a black. All teams do is target him. Again, tonight was a good game. Tonight was a good game, but if we're talking the whole body of work here, and we're talking a whole season, and that was crazy. And yeah. So
we have to stay vigilant, and I kind of agree. I'm split on the tanking thing side because if Kerr is here, because if Kerr is here, what's the point in tanking and getting a top guy if he's never going to play him?
Because with Kerr, without Kerr, I'd still rather have a potential young star for the future. I mean, and then we can kind of hope that Kerr doesn't ruin him in whatever brief amount of time he's still here. I'd still rather, and I'm also hopeful that Kerr's gone after this season. I think there is a chance of that.
I was going to ask you if you thought. I think
there's a real good chance of that. Actually, it's for the amount of money he makes, for the fact that. I mean, this Kuminga thing is an awful look, right? In a lot of ways, it wouldn't surprise me if we found out after the fact that Dunleavy and all these guys threw a little party when Kuminga was out with injury the last game, because each one of these games Kuminga plays, it's just literally like dumping piss on these guys' heads. These are very bad looks for the Warriors and the folks more specifically responsible for letting him walk and trading him for absolutely nothing. And that starts with Steve Kerr. That's 1A, Mike Dunleavy Jr. 1B. Joel Lacob's culpability comes from he's in charge. This is your operation. And you're just you have this apparent favoritism and bias with Steve Kerr. Apparently you're going to have to learn your lesson the hard way, just like Robert Kraft did with Bill Belichick. Like Bill Belichick and Steve Kerr, that is where I see a strong similarity. Like Bill Belichick, by the end of his tenure with the Patriots, his ego was so massive. Like he had his kid as a coordinator, right? That comps. He thought he thought that anybody could play for that team and they were going to be successful. He thought he was responsible for the 6 Super Bowls. Tom Brady gets out of there, wins a 7th, and it's a friendly reminder: talent is what wins, not the guy on the sidelines talking, right? Like, it's insane to me. Anytime you see people choosing a coach over talent, that is mind-boggling shit. No one is paying money to see a coach. Everyone is paying money to see the talent on the court. And to me, the similarities run very deep between Bill Belichick and Steve Kerr.
Yeah, but they could part ways with Belichick.
They both probably think their shit smells like roses. They both are probably tucking their heads between their legs every time they fart. Like that. Like that's how they roll, dude. They think they're amazing. That's what's going on in their mind. Like, I'm an amazing person. I'm special. That's what's going on in their heads, man. It's sick shit. I hate it.
We need to if we do get into the lottery, we're gonna need to bring in a younger coach and just start all over with a new system, because Armando was right with that go home in a body bag program. I looked it up. Steph Curry, he does run 3 miles a game, and he's number 3 in miles run this season.
And his injury is entirely because of that.
Yeah, he all just run, set screens, pass the Steph. And you're talking about coming back off a runner's knee.
I mean, if there was like real, genuine hope that Steph can come back and be 100% and make a run of it, I could understand the anti-tanking folks a little, right? It's like, okay, like you're pinning your hopes on one of the greatest ever, a guy that, again, I agree. I have a Steph bias. That is,
but he's going to be running 3 miles a game. That's my only issue. He'll still be running 3 miles a game.
Well,
so
yeah, and we don't know if his body's going to hold up. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, in what world, like who taught anyone that putting your faith in a 38-year-old will pay off?
Yeah, that's going to lead to a championship. And the sad part about
what do you think? Like, what has ever convinced you that is a winning strategy? Like that a 38-year-old athlete is going to carry your team to glory? Like that's insanity, man. Like I don't like, and that's the argument we're having here. Either we hope for the best that maybe a 38-year-old Steph could come back and perform like he did before.
And we can make a deep run, and we'll make a deep run.
Or you tank, and then you start building for the future the best way possible, the same way you built this dynasty through the draft. Like
but you're gonna have to do it with a new coach, Si. You're gonna have to do it with a new coach. I don't think they would let him go because I think he's gonna take Chris Finch's spot when he goes, but I would love to have Micah Nori. I don't know what you think about him. Their system
I like him. No, Chris Finch isn't going anywhere.
Bring in a guy like him.
I don't know why you brought up Finch like he might be retiring. Chris Finch is not going anywhere. So you do listen. On top of everything else we've mentioned about Steve Kerr, another reason why now is the time is because there has never been a deeper stockpile of high quality coaching candidates. Never mind the Mike Malones of the world who are out there, right? And side note, that image of Mike Dunleavy Jr. chatting it up with Budenholzer a few weeks back, not literally gave me nightmares, but figuratively speaking, it was nightmare inducing. Like I don't want Budenholzer. Like that's like all you're doing is moving laterally, making a decision like that. But like, and I know this one's a little. I guess it depends on who you're talking to, but like Willie Green to me is a great coach. I wouldn't hate that decision. Mike Malone wouldn't hate it. He's not anywhere near the top of my list. I think you could do a lot better. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Brent Barry to me would be an ideal choice. Same background as Steve Kerr, except more experience at everything. Dude's a very smart guy. You're bringing some Warriors lore back into the building via his dad. And if you want to accuse me of being biased with that suggestion, fine, fair enough.
So good.
But there's also a lot of assistants, like you mentioned, like the Minnesota guy. There's like 3 or 4 assistants out there that are primed and ready to be a head coach. And if you're gonna make a change, now is the time, man. Like who knows what this looks like a year from now? You know?
I have one more name, Si. What would you think about Steven Silas? Isn't he the guy that?
Yeah. Well, why do you like him so much? Ombre. Sven, I'm going to have to give you I'm going to put you in timeout, by the way. Dude, just keep the derogatory language out, please. It isn't complicated. That includes homophobia. All right. Just avoid that. All right. We're not in a bar in Alabama here, man. I mean, come on. Let's be a little reasonable. Just keep the hate speech out. All right. I'm going to read this email because it's a long one, but it's a really good one. And then we'll wrap up with Shardall as we will enter the danger zone. Ombre, thank you. I don't know what happened to you. The second caller tonight just poof. Great call though. All right, let's go to the emails because this one's a good one. Get everything queued up here. Got an open for the mailbag. Got some music to play with it. All right, there we go. All right. So open up an email. And side note, if you ever want to email the show and have your comments read, it ain't complicated. Warriors24pod@gmail.com. Send it in. If you don't feel like coming on with me, we read them. We read them on the show. And most of the time, they're damn good emails. So without further ado, let's open up the mailbag.
Letters. We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
Oh, yeah. This one comes from Yala. a.k.a. Tom. I don't know why it says Yala in the email address, but Tom writes, does anybody remember Jordan Bell, Eric Paschall, James Wiseman, Jordan Poole, Lester Quinones, Javon Johnson? I don't really remember that guy. Patrick Baldwin Jr., Moses Moody, Kevon Looney, just to name a few. What do they have in common? All either struggle to function on another team or are out of the league. The Stephen Curry universe, the House of the Warriors. Players can only fit by playing a certain role. When they leave, they carry just limited sets of skills. Too limited for most NBA rosters. Why? One would ask, this is the rebranding process. The captain leader changes your identity, shifts your skill focus, reduces your skill range to PPSP, which stands for pass, pick, screen, pass. It's like being told you're Sean Marion, not Kobe. The 4 rings remind those who ever dare to question the leaders of the house. Over the years, the House of the Golden State Warriors traded veteran players like Andre Iguodala. They did do that. That's true. Leandro Barbosa. I don't think they traded him. They just moved on. Sean Livingston. He retired. Andrew Bogut. David West. JaVale McGee. And superstar Kevin Durant. These are all players who had solid careers with no rings and were ready to embrace new prospects. These players knew it might be their last shot at a championship. Of course, they would accept any role required. Why not? It was a healthy franchise doing the things the league had never seen before. Bob Myers, with vision and charisma, constructed the missing pieces around the outer planetary duo of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. Side note, Alvin Gentry was the offensive strategist for a head coach who had never coached in the NBA before. All credits go to Alvin, who was able to utilize Steph Curry and Klay's offensive firepower. Ron Adams, defensive coordinator, key in building the Warriors' elite defense. All credit goes to Ron for the defensive boost. I have yet to confirm that a first-time coach with no head coaching experience who did not recruit the roster was able to craft such a well-oiled offense and make the necessary tweaks. My conclusion? The current captain leader was surrounded by a group of veteran expert assistant coaches who steered the franchise to their first championship. But of course, as we now know, the captain leader's character. He took all the credit and never looked back. But I digress. After 3 or 4 years, the rebranding process causes most players, especially young ones, to lose all ability to develop other skills and lose all value in the NBA market. The only place where the PPSP role and three-point shooting, when allowed, are the required skills is the House of the Golden State Warriors. And we all know what happened with Jonathan Kuminga and the leaders of the House of the Golden State Warriors. Let's bring it into perspective. Remember the movie Roots? And side note, the Roots part was inspired by another YouTuber. I mentioned the other YouTuber. There's a scene where Kunta Kinte is brought before the master, beaten for refusing to renounce his name. Quote, the master demands, "What's your name?" Kunta Kinte. Kunta answers each time, "Alash." He refuses to become Toby. Fast forward. Oh, this is a deep one, comparing Roots to the situation. Fast forward, Jonathan Kuminga working on his post moves, mid-range game, and ball handling during practice. the captain leader approaches and asks, "Why are you doing all this? We don't need it for Steph's offense. The system that won us 4 rings doesn't allow it." Kuminga replies, quote, "This is for my personal development," unquote. The leader walks away, shaking his head. Then it happens. Kuminga slips out of the corner, makes a big play against orders, and is punished. Kuminga starts to see the pattern. He takes the punishment because his name is not Shawn Marion. His name is Jonathan Kuminga. For every 15 minutes of playtime, every yank, every DNP, Kuminga works harder. For he knows time and youth are on his side. A pattern starts trending. The fewer minutes he played, the more likely injuries piled up among the vets who had to burn heavy minutes to sustain the reputation of the flawless system claimed by the leader of the House of the Golden State Warriors. Now note, the system, aka small ball, it got them rings, but in the end, it broke them down. Kevin Durant with the Achilles, Klay Thompson with the ACL, Draymond Green, back injuries, and recently, Jimmy Butler with the ACL, and Stephen Curry with first the hamstring and then the runner's knee, plus there's a lot more. The reason Kuminga always performed well despite inconsistency in leadership, despite inconsistency and benchings, is simple. By now, he knew the pattern would play out. Playoff energy spilled because of the system, causing a defensive and scoring fatigue, especially deep in the season. So now he's always mentally prepared and ready to prove that he's not Shawn Marion, but Jonathan Kuminga as a starter. Jonathan Kuminga coming off the bench. Jonathan Kuminga after one of 16 DNPs. Bob Myers leaves. The captain leader fully takes over now. Full control. No more democracy. No logic. No reasoning. The captain leader now stands unchallenged, backed fully by, quote, the sun of their solar system, unquote. He is now the undisputed captain of the House of the Golden State Warriors. What does that mean? One asks. The captain leader answers, quote, "Let me remind everybody, there is no house without the sun, and I will protect and do whatever it takes to keep it that way." Who are the residents in the House of the Golden State Warriors? Well, there's the top leader and captain, Steve Kerr, an egocentric figure who aligned himself entirely with the sun. His loyalty ensured immunity, even amid public failures. Rewarded with a 2-year, $17.5 million extension. It's 2 years, $35 million. Despite the chaos, nobody will outshine his favorite son. Then there's Stephen Curry, one of the most lethal weapons of our era, the franchise's golden face. Soft-spoken, praised by all. This was a chance for the character to show the world what he stands for, off and on the court. But in this case, he stays silent as his house burns. He enables the captain leader and blindly supports. Didn't he witness or question the abuse of power in his house? Although he publicly defended JK, there is a famous saying, quote, "Actions speak louder than words," unquote. Let me translate. Kerr's actions spoke louder than Curry's words. Draymond's words, Jimmy's words, and the front office's words, all in the name of loyalty to their son, who orbits in silence in his universe. And then there is the barometer, Draymond Green. When the house gets out of balance, he gets out of balance. Loyal Curry watchdog, ensures the refs call the game somewhat fairly, loyal protector of the house, barks differently and louder when a contract year looms, whether it's the Kevin Durant fight, that was in a contract year. Draymond got the extension. Then Jordan Poole's punch. Draymond gets another extension. Always aligned with the son of the house. And just like the captain leader, also receives immunity. And as, quote, I can do what I want, unquote, card, Draymond defended JK publicly, and for a moment, his actions spoke by coming off the bench for Kuminga. That soon changed when the captain leader made sure his actions spoke louder than Draymond's. Again, in the name of loyalty to their son, who orbits in silence in his universe. There is one resident outside the house of the Golden State Warriors, an unsung hero named Aaron Turner. He got his client out, stood firm. He and others kept JK mentally strong while the house demanded surrender. Salute for pulling him from the flames. And I know there are more heroes behind the scenes, and this email gives a shout out to me. Thank you. In closing, it's over now. What could have been if they'd set egos aside, invested in Kuminga, built a true future with him, we could have had a fifth ring. The house could have been shiny. New roof, new furniture. Everyone gets a bigger room. New residents would love to join their shiny new house. Vets could extend, and they would counsel the rooks. Coaching staff would perfect the system and reinvent more plays with that new duo. Steph enters the 5-ring club, which includes Magic, Kobe, and Timmy Duncan. Sadly, Joe Lacob, the house is on fire. Too much damage. It's collapsing. Take cover. Best regards, Tom. All right. That's a weird transition to go from that. Shardall, you ready? Great email, Tom. Now we enter the danger zone.
I'm a stay-at-home son.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear your open?
I didn't hear it. Can you play it?
Well, I already played it, but I'll play it again for you.
Stay-at-home son.
You're watching on YouTube. That graphic showed the YouTube channel for Shardall Gupta, SGA Sports Talk. Go subscribe. Shardall, were you celebrating the Warriors win tonight? How are you feeling?
Hi, Sai. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Okay, man. Thanks for asking. But this is about you.
On this Thursday night, as the Golden State Warriors stunned the Houston Rockets 115-113 from the Chiro Center in downtown Houston, Texas. This was a statement victory. I mean, this win made me really like, this win put me on the edge of my seat. Like, I was like, really, when this went into overtime, I thought that we would have lost this game, but I'm glad we pulled it out. We got the victory over the Rockets. We took Houston.
Shardall, that's it. You know what? You're the first person to say that, and that is really good analysis, because I was thinking the same thing. When this game went to overtime, I thought it was over for the Warriors, but they doubled down with intensity and fight, and they pulled it off.
That's what the Warriors. That's what is the clear description of the Warriors. They're resilient. They're dominant. They're not going to back down from, even if they're losing in the game. They're still going to keep on fighting. Keep on, they're gonna bring the effort. And they're gonna take down whichever team they face.
Shardall, Riz, agreed. Riz is asking in our chat, with a profile pic of a possibly attractive woman. What's up there, Riz? Is that your girl? Is that just someone you're fantasizing? Is that your goal? Is that your girl or your goal? Which one is it? Asking. He has a question for you, Shardall. When can we see you dancing? Is there ever going to be a video clip of that?
I'm gonna send it to you, but it's on my dad's phone.
Okay, all right. But is the public going to see that? Are you ready to show the world?
I'm not ready to.
Okay, all right. Well, I think that's what Riz was asking. Not if I can see it, but if the whole world can see it, including Riz. And Riz, by the way, bravo. That's your girl. Does she like you that you're showing her off like that? Does she like that she's public? If that's Riz, I'm trying to protect you here. Maybe if that is your woman, maybe take the picture down, dude. I don't know if she would appreciate you putting her on blast like that. And if she does, then ignore what I just said. Yeah, go ahead, Charlie.
If you're a fan of South Park, you should watch season 17, episode 5, titled "Taming Strange." Here's the condensed version. Kyle's younger brother, is hitting Canadian puberty, causing him to transform into an aggressive rebel. To fix Ike's erratic behavior, Kyle takes him to a Yo Gabba Gabba live show to hoping the childish environment will calm him down. The situation spirals when Fufa, the pink character, experiences her own strange awakening. She decides she's tried of being a kid star and wants to become a hyper-sexualized pop icon parodying Miley Cyrus's 2013 VMA performance. And the episode ends in a bizarre stage show where Ike
I'm mad at everything, man. Brother got a nice car, man. Why you got a car, man? I only got one car. Why you got 3 cars or a wife or all that, man? That's played out,
ultimately
man. I hate
proving that
he's
totally strange,
broke.
navigating the hormones
ain't got nothing like me, you know what I'm saying?
Puberty is a messy, unstoppable process.
Man.
I love South Park, Shardall. I know exactly which episode you're talking about. Little Kyle, who you just mentioned last episode, who had an affair with his teacher, this time is taking the wrong medication. It advances his puberty, and he suddenly is talking shit, and he doesn't care about Kyle. That show is absolutely amazing.
So when Ike's younger brother was transforming into an aggressive rebel, that's exactly how I feel. My parents, when I'm doing like a live stream with my friends and I say, "Stop getting in my room, Dad. I'm trying to do a live stream here. I don't want you like interrupting my live stream."
I did not know that happens. That happens to you?
No, like sometimes I'm doing a live stream and my parents come in at a wrong time when I'm doing a live stream, and it's very distracting because I'm in the middle, like when I'm doing a play-by-play stream for the Warriors, and there's a crucial play, and I want to call it, and when he comes in, I'm like, then I have to cancel the live stream. I can't cancel the live stream. I've got to keep it going. Correct. So I get very distracted about that, right? Because what happens, like, there's a crucial play that you want to call.
Well, if you like
South your dad Park, comes in, and then I act like Ike. I didn't take any hormones, but I act like when Kyle comes into his room and Ike starts getting, "Get out of my room, Kyle! I'm playing with my toys. Get out of my room." That's how I feel. And it's a very bad feeling. I don't want to feel like that.
All you got to do is tell your parents one thing, and speaking of South Park.
Oh, hey.
But then I tell them, and then they come at the wrong time when I'm trying to do something, and they come at the wrong time. That's the problem. And I tell them to not come in, and they keep on coming in. Like, what am I going to tell them? Be rude to them?
First of all, Barbara, and advice.
Am I gonna? But what
Why
I'm
do you not lock your door?
What I'm gonna still try and come in?
How are they going to come in if it's locked?
What I'm to break the lock?
Well, then let it get to that point, and then you got to figure something else out.
No, but I feel like Ike's younger brother. You know how I feel. Like I know he took hormones, but I don't. I get angry I can get angry without taking hormones.
Why do your parents feel that it's okay to violate your privacy like that?
No, but I don't know why. Because I'm trying to do something.
I guess.
I put my foot down. I try and do everything to tell them that I'm here. I'm doing a live stream with my friends. Can you not come in? And then they come in at the wrong time when they're not supposed to.
You just revealed the one negative of being a stay-at-home son.
Stay-at-home son.
If I say I'm a stay-at-home son, they won't say anything.
You're not supposed to talk over your open, Shardall. That was very rude of you. Did your parents know that you do all these different radio shows?
The open is over. The open is over. The open is over.
Hey, you talked over it. That was very rude. Do your parents know that you do these you do all these shows?
I do all these shows.
Well, we all know that. Do your parents?
I'm sorry to talk over the open.
Who cares? Do your parents know that you do these radio shows and you come on this show?
They know I do these radio shows and I come on these shows.
What are their thoughts about that?
They like it that I'm coming on other people's channels and supporting other content creators.
Do they listen to your appearances?
They sometimes listen.
Like, are your parents in the other room right now watching this program and listening to you?
They're not watching it.
How do you know?
They can watch a rerun after it's over. They can go back and watch it. But
how do you know they're not watching right now?
No, but they can go on YouTube and then they can tune into it after it's over.
I know they can just do that, but what I'm asking is, how do you know they're not actually watching the live version this second?
My dad is watching something else right now on TV. He's not watching this.
How do you know? Are you in the same room with them?
No, he's in the other room and he's just watching his own stuff.
Yeah, but if you're in a different room, how do you know he hasn't switched the channel or switched streams and he's watching this?
He didn't switch it.
How do you know?
I know he's in the other he's right. He's not too far away from me. He's in the living room.
Do you spy on your dad? Do you keep
no,
tab?
I don't keep tab. Are you trying to turn me into a creepy individual who's saying that I'm creeping?
I don't think it's creepy to keep tabs on your parents and to make sure they're not spying on you. I don't know what's creepy about that. Is that a creepy thing to you to make sure your parents are not infringing on your privacy?
It's creepy, to go and see what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, but you're not actually seeing what they're doing. You're just making sure they're not seeing you. Does that make sense?
No. Oh, so now I know what. So it's not creepy. It's actually they're making sure that I'm okay.
Okay. You have no brothers or sisters, correct?
No, I'm the only one in the family.
Are your parents older or younger? Like, how old are they?
They're older.
What's that mean? Like, how old's your dad?
Like, I don't want to say the age. I don't want to share.
Can you give me like a 5-year range? Like, is it 60 to 65?
55.
Okay, 55 to 60 or 50 to 55?
55 to 60.
Okay, so that's all. You had a fairly young dad. And is your mom even younger?
Say around that age.
How did your parents meet? Like in high school, or how did they connect? Was it an arranged marriage? How did that work?
I don't know how. I have to ask them how they met.
You've never asked your parents how they met?
I never asked how they met.
Oh, interesting.
Because normally people, when you get a relationship, you ask like, did you go back in high school? Did you meet back in high school? Like, did you be in college or something? You ask them where they met, just to get an idea of where they met, right? Because that's kind of interesting to find out where they met.
It's very interesting.
They should educate me on where they met. I should ask them after I get off from the live stream.
Find that out. Learn about your parents. They might actually be interesting folks.
Yeah, they're interesting people.
Were you born here in the States?
I was born in India, but I grew up here.
How old were you when you came here?
I was like 11 years old.
Oh wow! So you have some memories of India.
I was 10 or 11 years old when I came over here.
What did your dad like?
And my mom was even younger when she came over to America. She was 5.
Wait, did your mom come here when she was 5 and then go back?
No, when I came to America when I was 11. My mom came to America when she was a little younger, 5 years old. She was a little kid when she came over here.
And then, but then she went back to India to meet your dad?
She went back to my relatives live in India.
So if your mom was living in the U.S. since she was 5, why were you born in India?
I don't know. I have to ask her.
Yeah, find out your life. Come on.
I need to know about my lineage of how my parents got together.
Oh, wait a second. What's going on here? We got some troll in the chat. All right. Julian Bashir wants to know, how do you know English if you grew up in India? Was it just spoken around you all the time?
So when I came, I was born in India, but then I came to America and learned English and went to college in India and learned English that way. My mom, when she was born in India, she actually went to school in India. So she knew all the Indian language and how to write write Hindi, which is our native what we speak in the house. she went to school in India. Same thing. My dad. They both went to school in India. So I went to school here in America. So that's how I know English. Because I went to college. I graduated from high school. You know, so I know English that way. I took some foreign language classes. I took Spanish course in high school.
KKS in the chat saying that Indians go back to India for a month at a time all the time. Do you go back to India?
I haven't been to India in a while.
Do you like India?
No, I haven't. I like it, but I'm too busy. I don't have nothing to do. But I have to ask my parents if we can go back to India because I have a lot of relatives who they live in India, but I have never been. It's a while. I have to go back there and see my relatives and see if they still recognize me.
Are you a vegetarian? Because I believe that's
No, I eat meat.
But just not cow, right? So you eat pork.
No beef, no pork, chicken, seafood, but no beef.
All right.
And my dad is a vegetarian. I eat meat. My mom eats meat, and my other friend is a vegetarian too. He doesn't eat any chicken or no beef. He doesn't eat chicken. And my other friend is Muslim. He doesn't eat pork. He doesn't eat pork at all. No pork. Chicken is fine. Beef is fine. Seafood, everything's all fine, but no pork.
The pork thing I get a little bit.
Because the pigs roll around in the dirt in the dirt.
Right. But
it's very when Muslims look at pork pigs rolling around in mud, it gives them a bad idea that you should not eat pork. Then, you know, same thing with me, but with my mom and me, we're fine if we see animals being slaughtered, you know, because we eat chicken, we eat stuff like that. But my dad hates it. He hates seeing animals being slaughtered. He doesn't like the fact of animals being killed.
I agree. I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan, but the idea, like someday I want
animals
I hope my life leads me to that. What's up?
But when animals get killed for consumption, it's not something that they like. That's why. Whenever I order, like whenever I have a game at my house and I'm doing like a watch party and I order pizza at my house, I always order like half veggie and half chicken. So if my friend can eat a veggie slice, he can get the veggie portion of it, and I can get the chicken. So, you know, it's because I want to be like, you know, he's at my house, you know, I want to get him something so I don't treat him like, you know, he's a worthless piece of crap.
Well, tell your dad I respect his ethics because I'm with him. Even though I haven't cut out meat, I want to someday. And I don't like, especially pigs, like they're smarter than dogs. Like,
next time when I come on the show, do you want to meet him? You want to meet my dad next time when you want him to come
on the show?
No,
sure, I'd love to.
No, do you want to meet him? He's a wonderful guy.
Of course.
You'll get to know he's the best guy in the world.
100%.
My mom is the nicest woman in the world too.
100%.
I love her.
100%. Let's do it.
If you get to meet my dad, you will create a bond initially. Like once you meet him, you'll be friends with my dad initially.
All right. By the way,
you probably want to go outside and have a beer with him if you want to. I can ask him if you want to.
KKS is saying that hamburgers don't really count as meat. Neither do hot dogs.
No, hamburgers are made of beef. I don't eat hamburgers.
He's trolling.
And hot dogs are made of beef. You can have a pork hot dog, a veggie hot dog, or a beef hot dog.
Shardall, is Julian trolling, or is there really a Gor Haba festival?
It's not Gor Haba. It's holy.
Is Gor Haba a word?
I don't know if we have that festival. I have to look that up. Are you?
Why did you translate Gor Haba as holy? Like, where did that come from?
No, but we don't have what. I don't know if we celebrate that.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go.
He's probably making it up. It's probably I don't know. We probably do celebrate it, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, if you don't know, just say you don't know. It's okay.
I don't know.
Are you ready? Are you ready to go through the scoreboard?
Sai, so how did you enjoy me telling you about season 17, episode 5 of Taming Strangers on South Park? I gave you the synopsis.
You don't have to do that. Shardall.
No, now you really want to. I'm saying I told you. Now you really want to watch it.
Shardall, do you know how my life works when I'm at home? you want me to enlighten you a little bit if you
Can
care?
you please enlighten? Can you please enlighten me, please?
My TV, if there's no NBA on, my TV is on Comedy Central. Comedy Central runs South Park, I think, 12 hours a day. I've seen every episode like 1,000 times, and it doesn't get old. And no, I don't care what even like the early ass episodes where the animation's kind of shoddy and the storylines are weird. I'll even watch that shit. South Park is my religion, brother. I love that show, man. So that's how I roll, man. So you don't have to read to me like the description of an episode.
I'm saying that I'm saying the synopsis I gave you about the whole show. It makes you want to watch that tape because you were asking last time we were talking about South Park and you asked me like what's the episode where Ike takes the hormones. That's the episode.
All right. Okay, let's go through the
scoreboard. So let's go over the scoreboard and wrap up the show for tonight.
Yes, sir.
It's a wonderful show, and I want to get ready to go to bed.
Real quick, I want to do that too. Real quick, Anthony Long in our chat is saying that you're definitely loved. We can all tell.
That really warms me to for somebody to say that I'm definitely loved.
But following that up, maybe you could use some tough love.
I could use some tough love.
A lot of people could.
So we're gonna
pay chats. Hold on a second here. Hold on. We got to pay chat here. I apologize, Steve Alexander. I don't know how long ago this was.
So let me read this.
Is writing. It donated 5,000, I believe, won. I don't know what the W is, but saying, is Kevin Durant going to get on his burner and blame his teammates, even though he missed the free throws? How much you want to bet he will? Yeah, agreed. And in case you missed the game at the end, Kevin Durant missing clutch free throws and then making a free throw that he intended to miss. He banked it in. Anyways.
How did I analyze the Warriors game today?
You did well. You did very well. I already gave you credit for that. True Mentality in our chat really quickly said about 22 minutes in to the Steve Kerr interview, the host at 95.7 The Game asked Kerr about rotational decisions. I totally missed this. And if it's part of a committee, Steve Kerr responded, my assistant Seth Cooper gives me the rotations.
So I called into 95.7 The Game. Mark Grandy was on the radio station.
Was Mark
I called him a GOAT. I called Mark Grandy. He's the GOAT.
But he's the GOAT.
I called him the GOAT.
So you were as two-faced as Steve Kerr.
So I called him a GOAT, and then he said he appreciated all the kind words.
Sure, of course. Who doesn't love being called GOAT? But Shardall, that wasn't very authentic of you. That was a bit phony because you like Evan Giddings a lot more. So if Mark Grandy's the GOAT, what's Evan Giddings?
It's kind of like when I called into 9.7 The Game, I wanted to compliment Mark Grandy because Evan Giddings wasn't on.
I know, but you called Mark.
So
Grandy
I called
the GOAT.
Mark Grandy. I called Mark Grandy the GOAT, and I call Evan Giddings. He's my boy.
I think I'd rather be a GOAT than your boy, but that's just me.
But like, would you be if somebody called you? You're my boy. Would you be happy with that?
Yeah, but then if I found out you called someone else the GOAT, I don't know if I'd be so happy anymore.
So Mark Grandy is the GOAT, and Evan Giddings is going to be GOAT number 2, the second GOAT.
Oh, I actually think that's worst. I think you need to come up with a whole new name because GOAT number 2, I'd rather be GOAT number 1. Who wants to be GOAT number 2? That's not the GOAT. You can't be a GOAT if you're number 2. You know what GOAT stands for, right?
Greatest of all. Can Evan Giddings be the co-GOAT? Like you know when you have a host and the co-host, you're giving the host all the love. Is that okay? Is that fine?
Lena in our chat. Jen, you're always on fire. Where were you tonight? We missed you. I was writing. Lena thinks they suck.
Is Jen saying Mark Grandy and Evan Giddings suck on 95.7 The Game?
Saying, yes.
They don't suck. They're one of the best hosts. Please do not say that about them. They're going to be very offended by saying that. If you go on 95.7 The Game and you tell them that Evan Giddings and Mark Grandy are the worst, they will not appreciate you saying that to them. You know, they do all these Warriors post-game shows every single night. They put their hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears on every single show, and you saying that to them is like a punch to the face.
All right, let's go through the scoreboard.
It's like slapping. It's like slapping Mark Grandy and Evan Giddings.
I think they'll get over it, but yeah. But
again,
you might have.
I'm saying if she comes on the show and she says that to them, that's going to be offensive, you know, because I call on the show every single day. I don't think I would ever say that to them.
See, Jen Lena says they're haters.
No, Mark Grandy and Evan Giddings are not haters.
And then KKS saying that Evan is pretty bad.
How dare you say that? Evan is my boy. How dare you say that? Me and Evan have a friendly bond, and you say that to my guy. If you say that he will not appreciate that. You need to focus on the words that are coming. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? From Rush Hour, Chris Tucker.
All right, let's go. Yeah, I know. Let's go through the scoreboard.
Okay,
we start in
go.
Orlando. Shardall, Klay Thompson is it listed as a top performer tonight?
I love Klay Thompson.
His team lost. The Mavericks losing in Orlando, 115-114 the final. The Magic improving to 33-28. The Mavs dropping to 21-41. See, the Mavericks are doing what the Warriors should be doing, and that's tanking. De Silva, 19 points, 3 steals for the Magic. Klay Thompson, 24 points for the Mavs in the loss. A game that I don't think anybody was interested in watching. That includes fans of the team. The Utah Jazz in Washington beating the Wizards tonight, 122-112. Isaiah Collier, 27 points, 11 assists in the loss. A guy named Jay Reese, who does not even have a picture on ESPN. I kid you not. Who is this guy? Hold on. Jay Reese is Julian Reese. Who the hell? He's a rookie. I think he's an undrafted rookie. Anyways, Julian Reese for the Wizards, 18 points, 20 rebounds for the undrafted rookie. Bravo. The Miami Heat, 126. Oh, sorry. The Wizards dropped to 16-46. The Jazz improving to 19-44. The Miami Heat winning tonight at home, beating the Brooklyn Nets, 126-110. The final, Miami improving to 34-29. The Nets dropping to 15-27. Khalil Ware, 16 points, 11 boards, 5 steals in the win. Michael Porter Jr., 27 points, 13 rebounds in the loss. Busy docket tonight. In Minnesota, the Timberwolves, they've been red hot lately. They continue their winning ways, 115-107. The final, beating the Raptors, who were visiting. Minnesota improves to 40-23. The Raptors dropping to 35-27. RJ Barrett, 25.6 rebounds in the loss. Rudy Gobert, 18 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks in the win. Yes.
So Anthony Edwards posterized RJ Barrett. That was one of the sickest, disrespectful things Anthony Edwards has ever done.
Ooh, yeah, you're right.
He turned RJ Barrett into a poster. Did you see that? You see the kid? Right. You see that my Minnesota Timberwolves fan who was watching the game in Minnesota? When he saw Anthony Edwards posterize RJ Barrett, that little kid was jumping up in his seat. He's probably never seen that in his life before, to see his favorite, watching his favorite team posterize another player from the Raptors. He's never seen that in his life before. I mean, if Stephen Curry did that, if Stephen Curry posterized LeBron, I would go and watch that. I would go and watch that if that happened. I want this. Would you go and see that? If Steph Curry posterized LeBron, would you see that? Would you watch that? Would you watch that? You would? You would watch it?
Stephen Curry posterizing
LeBron? Would you see that?
Absolutely, of course. Why wouldn't I?
And then looking in his face and spitting in his face and saying some offensive things in his direction.
As long as Steph did that to LeBron,
and spit in LeBron and said something in his face and got ejected for it, threw his mouthpiece at him.
This was a heavyweight fight tonight. The Spurs hosting the Detroit Pistons in a potential, I'm not making this up, a potential NBA Finals preview. The San Antonio Spurs, 121-106 winners tonight over Detroit. Victor Wembanyama, 38 points, 16 boards, 5 blocks in the win for the Spurs, who improved to 45-17. The Pistons dropped to 45-16. Just a half game separating those two squads. Cade Cunningham, 26 points, 8 assists in the loss. An upcoming opponent. Yeah.
So the Golden State Warriors snapped a 2-game losing streak. I'm so glad that their 2-game losing streak is snapped and they've won their first game. They're on the winning. They're on the back on the winning track. I love that because I was really concerned that their losing streak would go to three games, and I'm happy that they broke it.
Real quick, KKS, the user in our audience tonight, Sven, he wasn't permanently banned. I just put him in a timeout just to make sure he doesn't repeat the hate speech, but he never came back. He wasn't booted for good. It was like a 5-minute timeout, but he decided I'm out.
Can you please Sven, so I have a message for you. On Golden Days, there's FCC regulations that you cannot say homophobic ethnic slurs on this channel.
Not on YouTube. No. You have that wrong, Shardall. The YouTube does not.
No, Golden Days.
Golden Days, which is our primary platform. We have 2 platforms, YouTube and podcast. Neither one of those is regulated by the FCC.
You should be
these rules because of ethics and morals. Because
the
decent thing to do is to not judge people based on things they have no control over.
So Golden Days should be regulated by the FCC.
Why should it be regulated by the FCC?
So if somebody says something, then they'll get banned from the channel if they come on and say like 95 points against 7 the game is operated by FCC. So if you say any swear words on a 95.7 game, that's a problem to them because you cannot do that on a radio station.
You know why you can't do that on a radio station?
Why? Why can you not go and swear on a radio station when they're there?
Because they're using public airwaves, and so the FCC can regulate that. The internet is not regulated by the FCC for the most part. It's certainly not YouTube or podcast. All right, we're almost there. The Bulls, 105-103 winners tonight over the Phoenix Suns. This one helped the Golden State Warriors. The Suns dropping to 35-27. The Bulls improving to 26-37. Devin Booker, 27.6 rebounds. I believe his first game back from injury. Colin Sexton, 30 points in the win for the Chicago Bulls. Bulls.
So Jack Hughes, one of the team members of Team USA who won the gold medal, he's dating Canadian pop star Tate McRae.
Oh, okay.
One of the USA goal scorers who scored the game-winning goal. He's dating he's dating Tate McRae. So I really love that all these athletes are dating famous pop stars now, because they want to build their. They want to be in the spotlight.
Do you know any songs of Tate McRae?
I know songs from Tate McRae.
Okay. All right. Good.
Greedy and X's.
Okay. 2 more games and we are done. The Sacramento Kings did not light the beam tonight in Sacktown. The Pelicans came in and won 133-123. The final there, Zion Williamson, 23 points, 9 rebounds. In the win for a New Orleans squad that improves to 20-44. The Kings dropping to 14-50. Precious Achiuwa, 29 points, 12 rebounds in the loss. Last but not least, another good game. Quite a few tonight. The Nuggets beating the Lakers in Denver, 120-113. The final, the Nuggets improving to 39-24. The Lakers dropping to 37-25. Nikola Jokic, a triple-double, 28 points, 12 rebounds, 13 assists. Luka Doncic, 27 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists in the loss. We take a quick look at the standings to wrap things up. Shardall, do you want the Warriors to keep trying, or do you want them to tank?
As a diehard Warriors fan,
no wrong answer. Yeah.
Supporting this team for so many years, I want this team to keep on trying and making an effort to win.
All right, sounds good. See, people can agree to disagree and do it in a civilized manner. Here is the scoreboard. I'm sorry, not the scoreboard. The standings through March 5th. And I'll display this for the YouTube crowd, and I'll articulated for the podcast audience, who I value both equally. So obviously OKC has officially clinched a playoff berth. Incredible. So it's OKC, the Spurs, the T-Wolves are now the 3 seed. The Rockets dropped to the 4 seed with the loss tonight. Denver is 5. The Lakers are 6. Phoenix is your 7 seed with a 35-27 record. The Warriors 3 games back of the 7 seed Suns in the loss column, and they have a 1-game lead over the Clippers, who are the 9 seed. They're separated by 1 loss. The Warriors 32-30.
So you're saying that
yeah.
So you're saying the Suns and the Warriors are going to play together in Phoenix. They're going to play 2 games in Phoenix, and then the winner of that game is going to play LA Clippers and Portland, right?
First of all, the Portland is the 10 seed currently with a 30-33 record, so they're 3 games back of the Warriors in the loss column. If the season ended today, it would not be 2 games; it would be 1 between the Warriors and the Suns. That game would be played in Phoenix. The winner of that game is the 7 seed, and they would play the Spurs. The loser of that game would play a sudden death, a battle for the 8 seed with the winner of the 9 and 10 game. So the Warriors, let's say the Warriors lose to Phoenix in that first game. They'd still have one more chance. They'd play whoever won between the Clippers and Portland, and the winner of that game is your 8 seed, and you get rewarded with the Thunder. Does that make sense?
So that makes sense. So for me, it's kind of hard because I don't know how to explain it, but my trainer, he knows a lot about the Warriors. He knows more about how the play-in tournament works. He's told me about it. He's the only person, my trainer, who he's educated me on how it works. So at least I have one person that knows everything, so he can tell me how it works and how the play-in tournament works.
Okay.
Because I don't.
You get it now, right?
But it's tough how it works, because it's very complex how the plane works. It's not easy to understand. But I love how you explained it to me.
Thank you, brother.
You explained
by the way,
to me.
KKS in the chat's asking, did we not hear any post-game sound tonight? That is correct. KKS, is that a rhetorical question, meaning we missed something? Like, let me take a look at the wire real fast. And see if there are any storylines we missed. Hold on 1 second. I love how Hawks fans are now like elated that Kuminga's with them. I love how 95.7 The Game calls tonight a huge win. So they could be 32-30. Let me see if there's any good sound that came down. I guess did LJ Crier meet the media? I guess it'd be nice to hear from him. Hold on.
I mean, I didn't watch the game, but Steve Kerr's a good coach, but I don't know why he keeps changing up the lineups every night. Like he put he put all the G Leaguers out there. What were your thoughts?
29 different starting lineups for the Warriors this season.
So what were your thoughts on Steve Kerr putting the G Leaguers out there?
Well, I don't mind him actually. I like the G.
Because most of the G Leaguers are out there.
I'd rather have the G Leaguers than Podziemski, to be honest.
Malavi Leons was out there on the court. Nate Williams was there on the court. Quentin Post was there. So Steve Kerr's a good coach, but do you think that he makes a massive blunder by changing up the lineups every night?
I think Steve Kerr, I agree with you. I think he's a good coach, but he has a massive blind spot for talent. And unfortunately, that is a huge part of being an NBA coach. He just does not get that part of it. There's a reason why he failed as a GM, because he can't evaluate talent effectively. That's my thought on that.
So I'll when I end the show, I'll shout your channel out in my channel once you get ready to wrap the show
real fast.
And then I'll shout your channel out in my channel so people can subscribe to both of our channels.
Okay, here is Draymond Green, and this was him explaining the standard of Golden State Warriors basketball. This is courtesy of Joseph Dikis of the Bay Area News Group, which includes the Mercury News. Here, let me turn the music down for just a second while we do this. Shardall, please don't interrupt this while Dre's talking. And here is Draymond Green speaking from his locker after the game.
You don't become a championship organization with guys like that, and that's what we are. We're a championship organization. There's a standard here. There's a standard. You have to play hard. That's a non-negotiable. And so number one is the type of guys you have. I was telling my wife earlier today. I said it's very interesting seeing to sit and watch Steve speak to the team every day, because you could easily get down, right? Like under the circumstance, and just watching him find the right thing to say to get guys going, to keep guys to continue to believe. It's the things that people don't see, and got to give him a lot of credit. Every day he's walked in, he hasn't dropped his head. He keeps telling guys, yo, we're right there, fellas. We got a great opportunity. Just keep pushing. I promise you it'll turn for us, And so he's been doing an incredible job of that. And, it's a lot of guys in this locker room with a lot to fight for, So,
okay. Some Steve Kerr cheerleading there. All right. From Draymond Green, talking about the championship culture of the Golden State Warriors. The second part of what Dre said, I wholeheartedly agree with. There are players on this team fighting for their careers, meaning regardless of how the team's doing, they want to keep playing in the NBA. What they do now can translate to contracts. The whole Steve Kerr's messaging is resonating stuff. That's Draymond. I don't know about that. Well, yeah, go ahead.
How'd you like my logo with the Golden State Warriors with the SF?
I like it. How do you like my logo?
I like your logo. Your logo is.
I
really like your logo too.
We have a little pride here for nailing our analysis routinely on an accurate level. So
I really like your logo.
Thank you.
The We Believe team, that's my favorite one. I'm a big fan of the We Believe team with Steven Jackson and Monta Ellis and Baron Davis.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Baron Davis. He played in the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game in Oakland. Oracle
Noah
Arena.
Rocks in her chat saying that the Warriors YouTube channel has a whole bunch of post-game sound. But the problem is they're not posting clips. They're posting the whole thing. And I don't have the time to play the whole thing. Also, I feel like if I played the whole thing from their YouTube, they'd flag my ass for that. If I played just a clip, I could probably get away with it. But I don't have the resources. I'll save that for tomorrow. Look, if anything, Noah Rocks setting us up for tomorrow, because I haven't had one opportunity to bring up the fact that tomorrow is Friday. And yes, Jen Lynn, accurate. That Draymond soundbite was Steve Kerr PR. That tomorrow, the professor's in the house. Sprewell was right. Don't subscribe to it, but it exists on YouTube. Armando Laura, Evan Ball, the whole crew is there. Armando's cousins. They're usually doing streams during games. Wait a second. Does that mean, Shardall, that Armando is your competitor?
Armando is not my competitor.
Okay, good. So but don't subscribe to Sprewell is right, but it's out there if you want to check it out. And Armando Laura joins us every Friday. So tomorrow is Friday. You ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
Viewers, make sure to click the like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell for Golden Days in reference to the 1993 Matthew McConaughey movie Dazed and Confused. And make sure to subscribe to the SGS Sports Out channel. I'm at 534 subscribers. Woo! And I'm on the road to 600. So make sure to give me all the love. Make sure to give me all the support. I really appreciate everything all the viewers say for me. Let me do it again. So viewers, make sure to click the like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell for the 1996 Matthew McConaughey movie Dazed and Confused. And also subscribe to the SGA Sports Out channel. I'm at 534 subscribers, and I need to get to 600. So please go over there and give me all the love and support I can get. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Please go over there, get all of your listeners to go over there and support my channel and your channel, because you make some great Warriors content. You come on live every single every single night, home or away.
The juice is good, huh?
The juice is good.
The juice is good, no?
It's good. The juice is good.
You like the juice, eh?
Yeah, I do. The juice is good. That's what you're getting if you subscribe to SGA Sports Talk. You get the juice.
I'll see you on Friday for the happy hour with Professor Armando Lara, and I'll see you on Saturday, March 7th for Oklahoma City versus Golden State Warriors.
Yes.
Post game show. I'll see you for both of those. I'm looking for.
You're crazy, man.
I'm looking forward to
the. I like you, but you're crazy.
Oklahoma City post game show. I'll see you then. I'm looking forward to tuning into your show tomorrow. You and Armando, you keep it on point. I love tuning into everything you talk about on the on the show. But I'll see you on Friday for happy hour with Professor Armando Lara. See you on Saturday, March 7th, OKC Golden State Warriors post game show. I'll see you on for both of those shows.